You're the world's heavyweight champion, idolized by millions. You got a championship belt, and I don't. Now let's talk about guts. You've had a broken rib, and you got lots of guards and lots of sympathy. Cactus Jack's been wrestling with broken ribs for years, and what does he get? Spit on! Guts. I got him, and you don't. So what makes you think you're fit to step into the ring with me in a match for balls going anywhere? Up and down the Gulf Coast, could it be, Sting, that you're doubting your own talents, that you're doubting your own guts? Well, I got no interest in being a part of your personal growth process. I'm going to take you down. Bang, bang.
How's it going, everybody? This is the wild child, Connor Hopkins, the handsome coyote in those damn coyotes. And you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introducing first, your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the grip wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ.
All right, welcome everybody. Episode number 60 of the Best Kept Secret in Wrestling podcast. Thank you, TW Ward, as always, the voice of Memphis Wrestling, for that really awesome introduction. We really appreciate it. Episode number 60, boys. 60, another milestone here, inching our way ever so closer to 100, hopefully.
That's right. That is right. Number 60. At this point, you've definitely been on here for over 50 episodes, AJ.
Yeah. I think this is my 53rd, I want to say. 53rd.
Solid.
Look at me go, doing the things. Also, I turned on my mic. I didn't turn it on before, and I said like 4 things. So, they weren't important.
Anything you want to run back? Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, no, I forgot what I was saying. Shit. Hi.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, boys. Episode number 60 of the Sit Down Mars podcast. I want to thank everybody listening on all those podcast platforms right now. And I especially want to thank all my fellow stoners out there. It's our day today, people. Just want to say,
Hitler's
smoke
birthday?
weed and watch wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Whatever
happened to Cypress Hill? How come they don't make music anymore?
They have a documentary coming up.
Yeah, they're still around. So, happy holiday to all my fellow stoners out there, and appreciate you tuning in. And speaking of people tuning in, one of fellow stoners and friend of the podcast here. Tell them about it, Beef.
It's the Beefster here, and I'm telling you, you better turn into the Sit Down Marks podcast with AJ, Dirty Bird, and Primo. And if you don't, Beef's gonna have to hit you with that beefy bomb. Tune in, folks. They won't disappoint you.
Oh, Beefster. Love Beef, man. He's getting a lot of high-profile matches here lately, so it's been picking up steam. So appreciate it, Beef, man. We'll see you out there here real soon, and you better listen to the pod, or you're going to get that beefy bomb. So, Beef's been with us almost since day one, just about. Speaking of 60 pods, he was one of the first guys to lend a hand to us, so we definitely do appreciate it. But thank everybody listening right now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all those other ones, and also on SportzWire online radio Fridays at 6:15, right before the Thomas Bryce Show, and also throughout the week. So please do us a favor. If you really want to help us out, man, if you listen to the pod, we do want you to tell a friend, but we need that review from you. Go hook us up. That really helps us out. And we really do appreciate it, man. And on whatever platform you listen from, any review that you give us, we really do appreciate it. And thanks once again. The pod is growing, and we couldn't be more happier right now. So let's kick this thing off how we know. The pop of the pod's coming up here. Let's see what the old jukebox has for us here today. Good old hacksaw. I knew that.
Yeah,
was
I always like how he did. He always did this.
The tongue thing. Yep.
Tough guy.
Yeah, I beat you to it there.
Oh!
You sucker.
I bet I beat you to a 2x4 that was made out of sponge material that from the 80s. I bet you didn't have one of those, did you? God, I wish I'd have kept that thing. That would have been antique now, huh?
I wish that you also would have kept it so I can steal it from you, because things stolen from you mean so much more than things that I actually had in my childhood. That's why I just like stealing things from you. Don't pay attention to that. Don't.
One thing you're never going to take away is I just want to let you guys know, hello, this is the Kurt Angle you guys might have forgotten because since he left home, but I'm the champ now, so. We went and ran errands together, to get him a little acclimated to normal life since, being tucked away. So, but he's having the time of his life. Just want to let you guys know. So just want to say hello and yeah.
You better be putting his seatbelt on when you take him to the grocery store.
Oh, I do.
Be putting that sweet Kurt in danger.
I do. I put him up in the front of the cart too and push him through like he's
excellent.
He said that Kurt left home recently. Because he did leave home recently.
Well, that was home to him at that time, but home is what he knows now.
It's the home he knows. He's been here twice.
He's been here. Yeah, he's been here a long time. So he's like I said, he's
been on vacation twice.
All right, AJ, what's going on in wrestling history this day?
Hey, AJ, I want to come back to my place, which is also your place. I don't know. What the fuck day is it?
Right.
This day in wrestling history, which is April 20th. For all you marks out there.
And stoners.
Justice there. And stoners and stoner marks. Starks.
The marks.
Mark
Moaners. Moaners.
Moaners. You bunch of moaners. On this day in wrestling history, in 1895, back when Dirty Bird purchased his first pair of Levi jeans, because that's when they came out as well, getting ready to travel to the Chicago's World's Fair. That was like 10 years later, but whatever. 1895, Martin the Farmer Burns, very intimidating, defeated Evan Strangler Lewis for the American heavyweight title in Chicago, Illinois. How about that shit? Farmer beat the Strangler. Got like corn-fed strength. So that's why he won. In 1933, Earl McCreary defeats Jack Taylor in Calgary, Alberta to win the Canadian heavyweight title. Those are two very prestigious titles, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. Very prestigious.
Very prestigious.
So we're going to skip ahead all the way to actual. I mean, those were actual, but in 1998, and this is the night after the Spring Stampede from WCW, Nitro was held in the World Arena in Colorado Springs. Goldberg defeated Raven to win the WCW United States title, which was his first title ever in professional wrestling. And then later on that very same show, Hulk Hogan beat Macho Man Randy Savage for the WCW heavyweight title, ending Savage's one-day run.
Macho Man. Wow.
He got shit on whenever Hogan was around. Is Hogan around? I'm going to shit on you, fucking Macho. It makes me sad.
It is.
What else? This is a really weird day for.
Yeah, everybody was chilling, getting stoned, man. Nobody wanted to wrestle, dude.
Everyone was. Yeah. The other one I got is at a taping of WWE SmackDown. Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty lost the WWE Tag Team titles to Charlie Haas and Rico. The match ended when Rico kissed Scotty 2 Hotty, distracting him enough for Charlie Haas to get the roll up. How about that? And then I'm going to end this on a sad one of my favorites of all time. On this day in 1999, Rick Rude, all you Kansas City sweat hogs, passed away at the age of 40 years old.
Oh, man. One of the best ever. One of the best lines ever. I just love how he'd go to towns and rip on their women and on their dudes. And, it was great.
More jacked than anyone has ever been in wrestling.
Right. Yeah. He looked like Magnum P.I. already. You know what I mean?
I can't believe he was only... How is he only 40? He looked 40 in, the mid-80s.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
When he was, 12.
Great heel, too,
Strange.
man. Great heel.
One of the best. One of the best of all time. So that... Yes, you in the purple.
No, he's right here.
Yeah, Rick Rude. Yeah, it was on the Beach Blast card with Ricky Steamboat.
Did you guys watch that match? The Iron Man? By Beach Blast?
No, I didn't. I just watched this match that we covered today. I didn't.
Negative.
Yep.
It was pretty good. I recommend going back and checking it out. Pretty good.
We probably will.
The only person who was almost as roidy as allegedly roidy.
I mean,
as
this picture
Rick Rude is.
They have Steamboat gigantic.
I mean, that picture is fairly accurate too. It's almost an accurate representation. But that is what I have for this day in wrestling history. I don't have any birthdays because I couldn't find any new ones. So fuck off with your birthday nonsense.
Very good. Shout out to Mad Dog Connolly. Today's his birthday. So.
Why was that on my list? I mean, Mad Dog.
You already fucked all the birthdays, so.
Yeah, right.
Fine.
Nice.
Fuck, no, I take it back. Mad Dog's awesome. Happy birthday, Mad Dog.
Heck yeah.
That's what
Primo,
I got.
what's going on in the headlines, brother?
Nothing like a good news giggle.
Let's get to it.
Hot today?
Is the stove hot today? Well, I don't know because I am not straight out of AJ's mama's kitchen. So,
but goddamn right you're not.
It was hot on the day that we won the Chef Boyardee Beefiest Beefaroni Award. That was us. We did it. The Beefiest Beefaroni Award. Not the Chili Mac, not the ravioli. The Beefiest Beefaroni. That was us. I mean, come on. Look at us.
Man, when those awards start getting here, or maybe you guys are getting them, I don't know, but
no, I got the Beefiest Beefaroni.
Okay, it's I don't know where I'm gonna put these things.
Oh my gosh! So
I put it in my kitchen.
It's a can of beefaroni. All right. So according to Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select has learned that WWE does have interest in the ROH and AAA Tag Team Champions FTR. However, AEW has gone on to inform Fightful that as of now, FTR has over a year remaining on their current deals.
They do this with everybody. When when a year up, if they haven't renewed within a year, it's always the talk. Especially right now with guys being able to jump around on companies. It's really, really just freaking soap opera dramatic.
Could you imagine if just WWE just sucked it up and let everybody jump around on them too?
Yeah, it would benefit the company so much.
It would be so awesome. Just random people showing up all the time.
Yeah, it'd be fucking amazing.
It would make me want to tune in a lot more.
Kind of pissed me off too that they're now like, God, WWE showing interest in FTR. It's like you fucking fired FTR, and now they were awesome when they worked for WWE, and now that they're killing it elsewhere, like, oh, that FTR, better bring them back.
Well, I mean, they did with Cody, same thing. Fired him too. So
after fucking him over for God knows how long with Stardust.
Right.
Speaking of letting people go, they didn't let him go, but Kushida has departed from WWE. His contract expired. He just decided to walk away.
Yeah.
Best move for him, honestly.
Yeah, definitely best move for him. Sure.
Next up, all you out there in Tennessee, specifically living near Hendersonville, Tennessee, you have good news coming your way because Jerry Lynn has opened the FXE Wrestling School. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that is pretty cool. Nice.
I love Jerry Lynn. He's
awesome. Fucking legend,
I want to go to that wrestling school.
This next one's for you, Dirty, and all
Let's
the
do
rest
it.
of you,
Bring it.
potheads. Step aside, Austin 316.
That's a label.
WWE has unveiled a new shirt just in time for today, and it is none other than RK Bro 420. And on the back it says RK Bro 420 says I just smoked your ass.
Yep. And it's all
Very
green
good.
and yep. All these videos were surfacing today of Riddle and RVD, seeing each other. So yeah, man, they're making it cool to smoke weed, man. Let's end this stigma, dude. Like for real. I mean, anybody knows me knows it. Oh, go
Is
ahead.
there still a stigma attached to it?
I mean, kinda. Yeah, I mean, kinda.
I
You know
guess
what I
you're
mean?
right,
Like,
yeah.
especially with professional sports and stuff, I think. But, I mean, I kind of think there always kind of will be. I mean, it depends on what way you look at it, I guess. So, I mean, anybody knows me knows I'm a cannabis activist guy, whatever you want to call him. But, I mean, I'm not pushing any agendas. But, but I like seeing this on the mainstream. Jokes aside, I like it. It's like, yeah. Riddle's
Plus, it is
fucking
pretty-
badass and he smokes a lot of weed.
Plus, I do like the fact that WWE has an official shirt that but is like, yeah, okay, we're going to lean into this.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere else
Just
too
like fucking
that WWE talent has come to like Fightful and been like, they haven't even been tested for marijuana in forever. That's not a thing anymore.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
And finally, Killer Cross had this to say on Twitter today. He says, "Hello everyone, Elizabeth, aka Scarlet Bordeaux, and I have recently eloped. We're married. We flew to Alaska, hopped on a helicopter, and flew to a glacier for a very private ceremony. And then, of course, they wrestled the next day."
Yes.
Very cool.
Wait, they got married on a glacier?
Yeah, in Alaska.
Seems chilly.
Yeah.
It's pretty badass.
I mean, I hope he didn't just bring his nipple
The
suspenders.
nipples?
Otherwise, he's going to be very cold.
Yeah,
poor
but
Killer
that
Cross.
is today in the headlines.
All right. Well, time for the fan shout out. You can DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks to let us know where and when you listen to the podcast, and we will shout you out on the pod. Today's shout out goes to Derek from New York. I'm assuming it's maybe the city. It might just be the state or whatever, but I just always assume it's the city, but whatever. What's going on, Derek? Thanks for checking out the pod, man. Derek said he listens on his way to work, which he said he rides a bike with headphones, so he gets to check us out sometimes, and that's how he listens to it. I think he might be a friend of maybe somebody else that got shouted out, because he said that he heard from us from another guy that we had mentioned previously on the pod. So look there, wrestling fans telling other wrestling fans about us. It's working. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man.
It's really cool.
Thank you, Derek, for tuning in. I just have to say that when you're riding that bicycle, please be careful, my friend, because we are some funny motherfuckers, and we don't want to cause you to have a wreck.
I mean, yes. See, look how funny that was. Look at that shit right there.
Less is more,
all,
right?
all the
I mean,
jokes.
less is more.
But no, seriously, thank you for listening, and feel free to share with any other wrestling friends you have, and non-wrestling friends too. Make them listen to us anyway.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Just start force feeding us.
Yeah. Thanks, Derek.
All right, so we officially retired, at least for now. Maybe bring it back later. AJ's movie of the week. So we're going to. We don't have quite a name for this segment yet, but you kind of going to get the idea of what we're going, and then we'll bring it full force to you next week with the full production. So no more movie of the week. Here's what we got for AJ this week.
AJ's clip of the week.
AJ's clip of the week, eh? Yeah, I like it. So, I came across a classic. I don't know if you guys like Sprite at all. I personally don't. I think Sprite is gross. However,
Sprite's pretty good.
It reminds me of barfing when I was a kid. I can't handle it. Same reason I don't like soup. Anyways, there's a Sprite commercial where, this little kid named Timmy or Billy or whatever the fuck his name is, wins a contest, and Sting, in full Crow Sting getup, knocks on his door and informs the little kid that he's won a contest to wrestle him, and so the parents quickly move the furniture out of the way, and this bell rings, and then Sting proceeds to absolutely pummel this 10-year-old kid, like beats the shit out of him, like on the commercial and everything.
Absolutely.
And it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Watching Sting beat up a 10-year-old and like slam his face into like a table and then like run him along like the fireplace mantle.
Yeah.
And so it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. It's wonderful.
I watched this multiple times, and then I also sent it to my brother. I loved it so much.
Nice.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So, without further ado.
Yes!
Wow, the stinger.
Timmy, I'm from the Dream Come True Fantasy Foundation. You ready to wrestle?
You bet. Mom, Dad, it's really him. Hold on. Now I'm ready.
It looks so real. Don't count on Sprite to do anything but quench your thirst.
He beats the shit out of that kid.
He does. Like I like when he picks him up and he like on top of the mantle, just cleans the whole mantle off.
I like when he throws him against the wall and just shatters whatever.
China. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Are you ready, Timmy?"
Right.
All
yeah.
friendly and stuff, and then beats the fuck out of him.
I enjoy these, man. These are going to be
deserved
good.
That
Man.
beating.
Yep. Nice. These are going to be good. So you kind of see where we're going with AJ's thing here, man. So I think you guys are going to like this, man. This is going to be pretty sweet here. So, all right. Yeah, let's get it rolling, man. Welcome to the show. I'm the Dirty Bird. It's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. Lost my place there. We're going to bring you the highlights of the week in wrestling, including going over the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view Rebellion card that's coming up this weekend. We'll break that down really quick for you. Also, we're going to top off our virtual promotions with our absolute very final draft. And we're going to finish up our promotions and tell you what we got planned for that. And also, finally, the wild child, Connor Hopkins, joins us to talk about his young career, biggest matches so far, and to talk about his very huge steel cage match this Saturday night versus Bucky Collins, as the rivalry has to come to an end at the 5-year Zow Live anniversary show in Dixon, Illinois. This one's going to be a blast, man. I'm ready to get this thing going. Shout out to Hartenbauer. I've got his shirt on today, man. He's got a big match against Cody James this Saturday night. Let's get it rolling, man. Let's get this recap going here, Primo.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right. We're going to be talking about that show later with Connor, but I want to remind you guys, coming up, Iron Spirit Pro comes back to Bloomington, Illinois for the first outdoor show of the year at the Station Saloon, Saturday, May the 7th, sponsored by your boys here, the Sit Down Marks podcast. We'll be there working and giving away free merch. The main event, the champion Brewbaker, is putting the title on the line against the undefeated at Iron Spirit Pro, Dante Leon. It's going to be a really awesome card there, Saturday, May 7th at the Station Saloon. It's an outdoor event, so grab those tickets, man. They're already flying off the shelves, and we'll be talking about that later on closer to that show. All right, AJ, you ready to roll, man? It's AEW time, man. Let's know what happened there, brother.
Woo!
Woo! Wrestling!
Calm down. Or don't. I like the enthusiasm. Excuse me, I coughed. So, AEW Dynamite a week ago today started off with CM Punk versus Penta Oscuro. I like this because this is CM Punk's like the start of his like journey to the world title.
Yeah.
And like this is like the official kind of kickoff of it.
Right.
Yeah. He still looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. And he's going to continue having a blast until he probably loses to Hangman, which will be awesome if he does, because that'll solidify Hangman in a very big way.
I feel like, so if you ever play Mortal Kombat, they have the tower, and you have to get up past all the people on the tower to get to the boss. That's like what Punk's doing now. He's like, he's on the tower.
It is, yeah. Starting at the bottom, and even though Penta Oscura is
but he's got to beat all the bosses to be able to get to the final boss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Wardlow's doing.
Right.
You know, like a lot of storylines like that, yeah.
I like it. However, I was worried during this match because I thought for sure that Punk was injured. Like, did you guys see when he went for that? Yeah, I thought he fucked up his knee. Either that or it was just good psychology. I don't know. I haven't seen any reports of him actually being hurt.
Yeah.
But it was a great match. It was a great. It ended when Punk caught Penta in midair and delivered the go to sleep. It was fucking cool.
Yeah, it was impressive good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Penta's great,
really
man.
good match.
He should get more credit than he does.
Who, Penta?
Penta, yeah.
He really is.
I mean, he'll you know, the Zero Miedo, like that's like he does that like down your throat too much, but like, you know, ring wise, like, man, I saw him and Sami Callihan wrestle live like so many times, man. It was like he's just fantastic, man. He's awesome. Yeah. And he'll do anything too. It's great.
He's I also stopped counting the Penta Zero chants long ago. So I'm like, I just want to watch him wrestle. Like, I don't even give a fuck about the chants anymore. Hey. Up next, we had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Red Dragon. Good match. Jurassic Express, of course, got the win. But the interesting thing about this was that FTR kind of implemented themselves into the title picture, which is fantastic because now I think they're going to win all the titles, which they absolutely should.
Right.
Moving on.
Yeah, they came out to the stage with all their gold around them.
Yeah, and they look cool as shit. Yeah. They need one more.
They're so freaking over right now. Like,
it's amazing.
They're hot, dude.
Yes, they're the hottest act in AEW, and there are a lot of hot acts in AEW right now. Up next, MJF versus Captain Sean Dean. Did we ever figure out what cereal he was a captain of?
Yep. He's not a captain of a cereal.
Oh, well, that's just
Shivani said he was a Navy SEALs captain. Just going by what Shivani
Navy
said.
SEAls?
Yes.
They love that haircut, huh?
Yeah, he said he's a Navy SEALs captain. So
I take back my cereal joke if that's true.
Yeah. I mean, you guys could probably Google it and find out, but I'm just going off what he said.
Typing.
I know we had kind of wondered, so just going by what he said. So.
Fix that
Primo, do you think a Navy SEAL would have that haircut?
Well, it would depend what they're doing. I mean, Navy SEALs aren't really known for their upkeep of dress and appearance standards.
Aha, got it.
Like, for good reason, though. For good reason. It's for that they can blend it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, which I'm going to skip because it reminded me so much of the Inner Circle versus the Elite, or the Pinnacle. Which one did they even fight? I don't even remember.
The Pinnacle.
Pinnacle. Thank you. It reminded me so much of that Michael, you don't get to tell me I told you so yet, so you keep your mouth shut. However, I do want to bring up the fact that, did you guys see what Eddie Kingston was wearing?
Yes, I did.
Yes, a Thump t-shirt. JYD, our patron saint.
That's right.
I marked the fuck out.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about JYD later too, but they were at the Uno Lakefront Arena, where JYD is basically a legend in New Orleans.
Yes.
This is where he made his name, cut his teeth, that kind of stuff, that kind of place. So, So that was mentioned a few times, and then Eddie came out with the Thump shirt. I was like,
well, he even said, was it this week or last week? He said he's going to whoop his ass like JYD.
Yeah.
Yep. I said that last week. It was fucking awesome.
Sure did.
I love it. Any reference to JYD is gold. Really quick, another appearance by Sky Blue, who got squashed again, unfortunately. But she's on TV, and I fucking love it. It's fucking awesome. As long as she's on TV, I don't give a shit. Then we had, of course, I just want to mention, did you see Ricky Starks when he came out? Ricky Starks is from New Orleans.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be, smart and cocky heel. He got genuinely emotional when he got that pop.
Yes,
he did.
He did. It was great to watch. Like he was fucking having it. It was great.
He was, man. Yeah, he was in his emotions a little bit there, man. But he's great, man. He's great.
Yeah. And then for the main event, I'm just going to skip right to that because it was fucking amazing. We had the Ring of Honor World Television Championship match with Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki. Good fucking God. Just go watch this match. It was brutal. They beat the fuck out of each other.
I mean, I wish somebody would have counted how many chops they gave each other.
Yeah. A million. Samoa Joe looked like a big tomato. Like,
do you guys like
bloody
hamburger
big
meat?
Tomato.
Do you guys like draw up when he does the muscle buster?
Yeah, every time. Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I cringe.
Yeah, I do too.
But it's
made you draw up a little bit. I mean, when done right, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's safe when done right, but Minoru Suzuki, which I don't worry about him because I think he's like the T-1000. Like, he's basically liquid metal. Like, he's not going to get injured, like, ever.
He is. He's
the
a
toughest
robot,
man
dude.
He really is. And of course, Joe gets the win, he is now the Ring of Honor Television Champion. I thought that was a great decision. It was a great match. I want to watch it again. Minoru Suzuki is just a scary dude. Samoa Joe's back in his element. All of it wonderful.
I feel like we're in the era when WWE bought out WCW, and like we still had all the all the WCW belts still floating around in the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they like figured out what they wanted to do with them. That's the way I kind of feel with AEW and ROH. Like, you know what I mean? Like they got their own tag, their own TV champ, their own, like world champion,
their own
intercontinental
title.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's like a promotion within a promotion. But
yeah, because back in the day, it'd be like we're the WWF Tag Team Champions, and they're the WCW Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
So,
which I think it'll be okay because I really do think that Ring of Honor is going to be its own separate thing, just owned by Tony Khan. So,
there's
at least that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and there's so much of a like indie territorial love that goes with Ring of Honor that the hardcores, the guys have been watching for a long time, the people that cry and pop when CM Punk comes out, like those people in Danielson, you know what I mean? And, Chris Daniels, all those OGs, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So there's always that fan base there for them. So they're going to be okay doing that for a while. So, you know what I mean? So that helps.
And it's also going to be some spectacular matches going forward.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that match had Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal at ringside. And also, what was the guy's name? Which I did not. Satnam Singh. Yeah, this is bad. This is a bad reveal. No one gave a fuck. They did the whole lights out gimmick, and then when it came back on, everyone's like, "Cool, like fuck off."
Right. Yeah.
It should have ended with Samoa Joe just finishing the match.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't like this
enough with the lights on and off.
Yeah.
Like, that should be one person's gimmick, and that's it.
This episode of Dynamite was.
Yeah, the Undertaker.
Yes.
Somebody else can have it now. Malachi Black is where it fits in AEW right now, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
I agree.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
This episode of Dynamite was weird because it had some stellar stuff, and then the Jericho Appreciation Society just whiffed, and then this debut was not great, and so I don't know. It was still a pretty good show. Punk and Oscuro, and then Samoa Joe and Minoru Suzuki were fucking amazing. So, moving on to Rampage, and in one of my favorite matches in a long, long time, we have the Blackpool Combat Club versus some other team that I don't really remember who they were. Because
that would be the Gun Club, undefeated Gun Club up to that point.
Is that who it was? Yeah.
Oh,
it's funny how you can never remember who they are.
The undefeated ass
man. Just slips my brain. So it's the Blackpool Combat Club against two tiny people and Billy Gunn, who was just a fucking monster. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I every time he's on TV, I'm like, for fuck's sake, how are you in your 50s?
If somebody told me I could look like that eating ranch on my eggs, I'm eating fucking ranch on my eggs.
Absolutely.
Dude looks fantastic.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely.
And
That's great.
He can still do stuff too. It's not like he's just like cut and immobile. No, he can still, do some things.
Yeah.
I do want to mention about this. So this is Wheeler Yuta's first appearance as a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. And it was great. Like, you could tell how he was changing up his wrestling style a little bit. Like, he became a little more technical, I guess. A little more submission-y, I suppose.
Right.
But, yeah, it was really cool. And Regal needs to be on commentary all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say, I like how while he was on commentary, he was like, yeah, me and young Wheeler, we were working on this and this today. And, we were like, we were doing these moves earlier, working on the arm.
It adds a level of realism to it that is nice. It's nice to have in there. And it was just fucking awesome. Blackpool Combat Club got the win. Also, there's one other thing that I wanted to mention is Austin Gunn, you cunt, the way he was selling for Bryan Danielson. He was being like all over the top and shitty about it like Shawn Michaels was against Hulk Hogan. Did you notice that? He was like, rah, rah, and like fish flopping all over the place. Fuck it. Like, I was like, fuck you, dude. Like, take your beating like a fucking professional. Jesus Christ. Don't be a
You
cock.
hate them so much.
I do.
You hate the fact that they breathe.
I do. And what's sad is, like, I hate Billy Gunn the least out of these three.
But
They're doing their job.
They were not doing their job. They were making a mockery out of it because they knew that they were jobbing. So they're like, I don't want to drop toe hold. I'm going to flop all over the place. Fuck off, Guns.
Well, let's move on since you don't want to talk about them.
No, I'm all heated now. Now we have to talk about it. There'll be no moving on. Absolutely not. Fine, we'll move on. Up next, we have Ruby Soho versus Robin Renegade for Owen Hart Foundation. It's a women's tournament qualifier. Moral of this story is while Ruby Soho got the win, Robin Renegade tried Twin Magic, which is one of my least favorite spots in all of wrestling, where one person rolls out and their twin pops in. The Bellas did it all the time, even though they were not even remotely close to looking the same. Nikki had big boobs. But they tried it here again, and Ruby Soho's like, no,
she
fuck
still
off.
has them.
Yes, she does. But that's how you differentiate it.
Yeah.
Like, no ref is going to look at Nikki and Brie Bella and be like, yes, you two are the same. It's like, no. One got a giant boob job. There's more power to her. But the match was fine. Ruby Soho got the win. Twin Magic is stupid. And then finally, we come to Adam Page versus Adam Cole. This match was an all-out brawl. They beat the fuck out of each other.
They did.
It was a Texas death match.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There was a lot of bleeding happening in this match.
I'm good on them two now. I don't want to see them two anymore. I'm good.
Oh, I think we're gonna have one more match.
Yeah, think so. I mean, I'll watch it, of course, but
I think it'll be an Iron Man match too. Because that's what else are they gonna do? They did the death match. They did a regular match. They did the death match. Now, what's left?
3 stages of hell.
I know.
Right.
That was
Punjabi
one time.
prison match.
A last man. Well, I guess a last man standing match is a Texas death match.
Yeah, kinda. I guess. If they do a Punjabi prison match, I will drive to wherever it is and buy all the tickets. I will spend everything, like, just so I can be in the audience by myself
So it should
watching
be
the
a
Punjabi
Texas
prison
last
match.
man standing death match is what it should be, right?
But
Bull
only
rope match.
only with pure wrestling
Cowbell.
Cowbell.
Yeah.
More cowbell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed this feud. I've enjoyed this feud. I'm let's change titles or let's move on.
You ready to see another contender?
Yeah, I'm ready to see him elevate Page some more, or and then eventually get to Punk.
Who else do you want to see challenge for it right now. Because I mean, I agree with you. Like, it'd be okay if Adam Cole like went to the back of the line, but who's up next? Like MJF? He's feuding with Wardlow.
Malachi Black.
What is he? He hasn't really done anything though.
I mean, if we're looking long picture. Wardlow, right? Wardlow's going to be in the picture eventually, but he's going to have to get through this stuff first. So I'm thinking,
my honest opinion, I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah. Obviously
Pac.
not. Well, he's got to show up.
Okay.
Is he still in England?
Maybe. I don't know. You see him like once every 6 months. So.
Yeah, I guess so. In any case, this match was gross. You know, at one point there was barbed wire around a forearm, which is always stupid because it's like you're going to hurt your own arm as much as you're going to hurt the other guy. And the end of the match was, of course, Adam Cole couldn't answer the 10 count, so Paige retained. Yeah, this match was fine.
Yeah,
it was good. A lot of painful looking spots. Like anytime they set up two chairs that face each other, I'm like, that's gonna hurt, like horrendously, and it's gonna look painful. Don't do it. And then they do.
It's more painful when they flip them and the spines are against each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're like blah. Gross. So yeah, that's AEW, Rampage, and Dynamite.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Primo, you got some Impact and NWA here for us, man. What you got first here?
I do. I have some Impact for you. We open up the show. W. Morrissey opens up talking about how the last time he was in Philly, he had a seizure and he was carried. He had to be stretchered out of the arena, and it was at the lowest point of his career. And now he's better than ever, healthier than ever, great shape, and he's happy to be back there. He gets kind of emotional for a second. Solid face promo, and then he gets interrupted by the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers.
The most professional wrestler.
So Myers talks too much until Morrissey gets his hands on him and begins to put him through a table until Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona are able to ambush him. Then Cardona and Myers, a.k.a. the major players, put him through a table instead. A little switcheroo. You go through a table. Next up, we had backstage. The major players continue to make their presence felt whenever they attacked Mickie James during her backstage interview. Now guys,
they attacked who?
Mickie James. They attacked. Hardcore country. All right, so backstage, the major players continue to make their presence felt by attacking Mickie James.
Hey, you hit that time
during her backstage interview. And then after that, we had a pretty solid matchup between the Ring of Honor champion Jonathan Gresham as he defeated Rocky Romero. There honestly were like not that many matches. There was a handful, but I wrote down the coolest ones. This one and the next one is Alex Shelley avenges Chris Sabin with a victory over Steve Maclin. So, because Maclin attacked Sabin previously. Then next up, we had a segment where Honor No More comes out. They run down the fans in Philly, and because Ring of Honor was there, and they basically call fans pieces of shit and all that stuff. They run them down. The Bullet Club arrive and made it clear who Impact Wrestling belongs to. Then both factions brawl in the ring until Jonah comes out and kind of evens the odds for a second. And actually him and PCO have a scheduled matchup, which Jonah wins and then follows an attack after the match as the show goes off the air. Because as soon as he defeats PCO got up.
Yeah.
And so then he beat the fuck out of him after the match. So, and also throughout the show, because Rebellion is coming up, they showed several video packages for the build-up between Josh Alexander and Moose as they get ready for their heavyweight clash.
Yeah, I got a couple notes about this one. This was good shit for Morrissey, man. I love this. It was kind of step out of a character. Maybe they're going to babyface him now. I don't know, but I was happy to see this for him, man. This is good stuff. I was laughing at a couple things though. When Brian Myers come out, he called him Big Bill. I don't know why I thought that was
funny. Yeah. He did call him Big Bill.
He's like, Big Bill. I was like,
Big Bill.
Funny to me. Yeah. And then, because nicknames are funny to me. You know what I mean? But anyway, but then Bullet Club versus Honor No More. I love this. Give me all the inner workings of Bullet Club versus Honor No More. There's some fantastic matches that is going to be had there. So I'm looking for this. But the funniest thing, man, all night long was Carl. He goes, "Hi, Maria."
Yeah.
From the old days when he chased her forever in New Japan, right? How many times did you see when she'd get up there and he'd start dancing with her and, all that kind of stuff? Like, he had this, like, kayfabe constant crush on her in New Japan, and it's just carried on forever. So I love that they're, tinkering back into that a little bit too. So I'm excited for this, man. Watch Impact Wrestling. I mean, listen to us and we'll give you the breakdowns, but it's picking up, man. It's getting good, dude. I like it, man.
Yeah, I like it too.
It's got cheesy parts just like all the other wrestling that we watch, you know what I'm saying? But like, just, I'll say this, just forget everything you ever remembered about TNA and all that stuff. That was a whole different era. Like, this is
I don't want to forget everything. I loved some of that.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
No, I'm saying like, if, like, it kind of gets a bad rap now. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't shook off that, like, last TNA wrestling, where, right before they went bankrupt the last time or whatever. So,
like when Bully Ray was in and was like fucking.
Yeah.
Well, no, Aces and Eights, that garbage was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'm just saying, if you treat it like WWE and AEW, like it's just as good. It's just the production isn't quite there. I mean, it looks a little more, I don't know, indie-ish, I guess.
It does.
But
I'm on board with it though. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So the Rebellion card, let's break that down, man. What's going on this weekend?
We do have a Rebellion card, and it is as of now they've added the countdown to Rebellion pre-show with the match for the Impact Knockouts World Tag Team titles, which is Inspiration, Jason McKay, and Cassie Lee versus Madison Rayne and Tenille Dashwood.
Meh.
That's why it's on the pre-show.
Yeah, they'll probably retain. They just got them.
So next up we have triple threat match between Switchblade Jay White versus Chris Sabin versus Steve Macklin.
Yeah, I'm going Jay White for this. Leader of the Bullet Club's got to win this one, right? Or some schmozzy finish.
You would think so.
I mean, they've been losing a lot, so I'm going to say yes. They have to win it.
Well, you would think so. Like, I feel like if you're the leader of any faction, especially a heel faction, there's no reason why you should ever lose, because you should always have your boys to be able to come out and mess everything up.
Yeah, that's kind of their thing, right?
Right. So next up you have the Ring of Honor World Champion Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards.
Ooh, the Octopus versus the Boston Brawler, whatever they call them. Maulers, I don't know, something like that.
The Boston Boogeyman.
Yeah, the Boston Strangler. I'll probably go with Eddie here. He just turned over, kind of flipped script on and turned his back on Impact, so they need to heal him, get him a little more heat. So I'm going to say he wins with some dirty tactics.
Sure.
Next up, we have Tomohiro Ishii versus Jonah.
Ooh, good God. Hoss fight right here, dude.
Right.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I never pick against Ishii, but Jonah.
Jonah's on fire.
Jonah's on fire. They need to put some sauce on him, man. So give me Jonah here.
Unless BCO
Ishii.
interferes.
You like Ishii? Okay.
Yeah, Ishii. I can't pick against Ishii.
Yeah.
AAA Reina de Reyes title match. Taya Valkyrie, the return of Taya Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo, the champ.
It's time to change.
Deonna.
Yep. No, I'll say Taya.
I want Deonna to retain just because I've never been a fan of somebody just walking in and getting a championship.
Right, but she's held that title before for another promotion.
For me, like, it don't matter who you are.
Wear a Loca. I got you. I got
Yeah.
you.
Like, I get it, but do this match and do a couple more and then take it off.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree with that.
First match coming in, hey, I'm back. Give me the belt. You know, I don't like that.
This would give Deanna a good rivalry, though, if she did beat her.
You know?
I mean, this is true.
Yeah. I like this match on this card,
one.
though. That's awesome.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
8-team elimination challenge for the
good day.
Impact World Tag Team titles. So it's an 8-team elimination challenge. Once again, for the Impact World Tag Team titles, these teams are the Good Brothers, the Motor City Machine Guns,
Too Sweet,
the Decay, Willie Mack and Rich Swann, Rhino and Heath, Honor No More, Violent by Design. I'm going to have to double check this, but it says Jay White and Chris Bay.
Violent by Design are the current champions.
Yes, they're all the current champions. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, they ain't had them very long. I'll say they retain.
Against
I'll
all
say
of
they
them?
retain.
Guess who my pick is?
Good Brothers.
Motor City Machine
Motor
Guns.
City Machine Guns. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
One of my favorites of all time.
Obviously. Curveball. Right.
That'd be cool. Triple threats. You think it's time for, well, let's see. Mike Bailey's been on fire. Ace Austin's had it before. Versus Trey McGill. Triple threat match for the Impact X Division title.
Speedball.
Mike Bailey has been like,
Yeah. Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
Next up, you have the Impact Knockouts World. So we were just talking about this, having like all these titles and on one card.
Yeah.
This is what Impact's doing as well. Impact Knockouts World title match. Rosemary versus Tasha Steelz, the champ.
Tasha Steele. I don't think she gives it up yet.
Probably not, but I'm going to go Rosemary. I like her.
I like Rosemary as well.
Yeah.
But I say Tasha retains.
I did
One
too,
time I
but
seen her
I don't
live,
think-
man, she blew her knee out like a minute and a half into the match and couldn't wrestle. But still did her
That's sad.
signings and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, she's great. I think she was wrestling Jessica Havoc that night. But yeah, it was very sad. So I want to see her wrestle live again. So I'm going to go Rosemary just for that. And Charlie Brown says Rosemary too.
And finally, the Impact World Championship title match that everybody's been waiting for in the Impact World. Josh Alexander versus the current champion, Moose. And I think it's time for Josh to take it.
I'm going to
Agreed.
second that. Yep. Josh wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Moose has had it for what? How long now? Like 6
Forever.
months?
I don't even know. I feel like every time I've turned on an Impact for the past couple of years, Moose has had a title.
A little while. I think he won it from Christian, didn't he?
He did win it from Christian, and then he had it before that.
Yeah.
It's, you know, because he brought back the classic TNA title and all that. So
Yep.
So that was Impact, and that was Impact Rebellion card. We get next up real quick. Let's get into some NWA power, brother.
Nice.
We open up with Nick Aldis giving a promo saying his issues with Matt Cardona have now become personal. He says he's going to stretch Matt Cardona so hard his ancestors will feel it. And because the reason he's giving this promo is because, as we know last week, Hope versus Cardona for the championship is happening, and Nick Aldis cannot challenge until that happens.
Right.
So, next up we had the Dirty Sexy Boys. Dirty Sexy Boys, you ask, are none other than JTG and Dirty Dango.
It sounds like a tag team that I'm managing, don't it?
The Dirty Sexy Boys,
Dirty Sexy Boys.
Yeah. So, Dirty Dango and JTG, Dirty Sexy Boys, took on the Commonwealth Connection, Doug Williams and Harry Smith, with the Commonwealth Connection taking the W there. Next up, NWA Tag Champs La Rebellion. They come back and they clap back at them boys from last week because the Briscoes called them out last week. This week, La Rebellion shows up. They're like, where you at, Briscoes? And basically tells them they can't call themselves the best until they capture the NWA tag titles.
This is true. When you say La Rebellion, I think you're going to say La Resistance.
I should say that.
The French tickler.
Yeah. So, and finally, in the main event, we had Matt Cardona, the current NWA champion, taking on Pope. And he defeated Pope and retained the championship there as the show went off the air.
Yeah, allegedly Cardona, there was a rumor going around that he took a picture of 7 belts that he's holding and sent them to Vince McMahon. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If that's true, that's fantastic.
I also saw somewhere that he like put like a public announcement, like a PSA was like, "Stop booking me to win your championships. I have so many."
Yeah, stop booking me against your champions. My bag's getting too heavy and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, he's great, man. He's having a ride of his life right now, man. He totally deserves it. So
yeah, he does.
Yeah, and I was at Mania 32 when he won the IC belt on the ladder match, and then lost it on Monday after that. So, yeah, man, glad to see it, man. He's holding his own, man. He's doing pretty good. He's getting heat. I mean, remember the GCW run not long ago? That
was great.
Like helped him, man.
I like how he calls himself the Deathmatch King now.
That's great.
That was so good, though.
Yep.
Matt
okay,
Cardona.
let's talk about some Smackity Down. I'm assuming you're done and finished there, Primo.
I am done.
Okay, just make sure. All right, let's talk about some Smackity Down. This one went down. Say it with me, boys. Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester.
All right, leading off the show, we got RK Bro.
What up, bro?
What up, bro?
They show up to tell the Usos face to face that they accept their challenge to unify the title. We had some good mic work here by both of these teams. So they're setting up for the big unification tag title match. It looks like it's going to be at Backlash coming up here pretty soon. So after that, looks like they're trying out Drew Gulak as a backstage interview guy, audition type thing.
Sure.
He interviews Madcap Moss and who basically just says that he is on his own now, basically letting us know that he is no longer with what's his
Happy
name?
Corbin.
Thank you, Happy Corbin. Yes. So then Drew Gulak's in the ring. He interviews Charlotte, tells her that she tapped out to Ronda, and basically she don't like it. She tells him to leave. As he leaves, Charlotte attacks Drew Gulak, puts him in the figure 8, and Drew's basically saying, I quit. So funny little segment there. So I guess, I don't know, it was kind of what it was. But after that, we got Drew and Sami Zayn further like a budding feud that they kind of have going on. And also Ricochet beats Jinder Mahal with the Shooting Star Press. You got to see that? He's using that now? That's pretty awesome.
It looks great, too.
Fucking Michael Cole throwing shade at Billy Kidman.
Got that note too, man. Yeah, tell us what he said.
He said Kidman never got so high or something like that.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, well, that's an unnecessary shot. You know, Kidman could never get as high as that.
The innovator of the Shooting Star Press.
Right. Yeah. All right, boys. So main event on SmackDown was Riddle versus Jimmy Uso. Riddle wins with a pretty cool pop-up RKO. Shenanigans ensued outside the ring with Jay and basically and Randy as well. So basically that, the show goes off and they've announced, I believe so far, RK Bro and the Usos to unify the tag titles at Backlash, and then Drew McIntyre versus Sammy. I think what they've SmackDown has announced so far.
I like how that when he did that pop-up RKO, Randy just lost his shit. He couldn't control himself. He was so excited.
Right, yeah. He's popping inside, man. So that was the gist of SmackDown there. Pardon me, by the way, everybody out there. I have disease mongrels that bring diseases to my house unannounced. So there's a bad cold in my head right now. But I'll push through, man. I'll push through. So, all right. So let's get to WWE Raw.
I have diseased mongrels.
In one of the towns that AJ is very fond of, old Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, it's my place, my football team.
Buffalo, New York. And so to kick off the show, Seth Rollins
Seth Rollins
comes out in the worst outfit yet, and welcomes
I think
everybody.
you mean best. It was the best
this thing
outfit.
was awful.
It
was way too big. It was baggy. It was like it didn't even fit him. You know what I mean? So
it was like a dress sweatsuit.
So he welcomes everybody to Monday Night Rollins, calls out Cody. Cody comes out, panders to the crowd. Seth asks him, "What's it like to be on top of the world, Cody?" And goes on to say, "Cody, I made you a star in one night." Cody says, "Is this why I'm here?" Basically, and Seth is like, "I am better at you at everything, Cody. You had an unfair advantage at WrestleMania. Cody is just a flavor of the month. He's always going to be here. It's his show." Basically is what Rollins is saying. So Cody's rebuttal is basically, what happened at WrestleMania is going to stand forever. So you're just going to have to deal with it, basically. So Seth says Cody should do as he did and stand in the ring for the main event of Raw tonight, and whoever he handpicks to send out to him, he will have to beat him blindly, just like Seth would have to do at Mania. So obviously Cody accepts, and he's going to be facing an opponent that he does of Seth Rollins' choosing later on in the main event. So a couple notes. We got Naomi and Sasha retain versus Liv and Rhea Ripley. Here comes the breakup. Rhea attacks Liv post-match. Big breakup, big blow-off, yada, yada. So we'll see what happens there. I'm still waiting on, that little purple light to shine on, Rhea. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go, or something,
She's going to join the House of Edge. Which I don't. Do they have a name yet? That's just in my head what I've been calling them every time.
House of Edge kind of sounds cool. Edge. You should submit that to them.
It's just a rip off of the House of Black.
I guess it is. Yeah,
but the House of Edge does sound cooler, actually.
Brooding Ministries,
the Brood of Darkness,
the Broody Brood, extra broody.
So Sonya and Bianca are in the ring. Sonya, basically says that if she touches her, I'll fine you. If you touch me, I'll fine you. The old GM gimmick when you got a match with them later. Basically, and then so she puts her up in kind of like the rack, and then kind of lets her down, and then basically she had worked out this deal Bianca had where she paid for a fine, which was $1 by Adam Pearce. So it sounds like Adam Pearce and is kind of healing in the background of Sonya as well. So so they got that whole little thing going on. So they just basically went forward with that feud. Next up, we got Veer sends another guy to the hospital using his choke tactic, and then funny part of the night, a little bit of funny, I guess. Ezekiel passed the lie detector test by Kevin Owens and Gable that he is indeed Ezekiel and not Elias's brother.
That's right.
So then Gable and Ezekiel have a match, and then Gable gets DQ'd when Otis interferes and jumps on Ezekiel. So there's your new feud for Alpha Academy and Ezekiel. So
what would have been funny is if I was thinking about this when this happened. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, AJ, with your hand raised. But I was just thinking how funny it would have been if they would have thought way ahead, and Elias would have did a bunch of videos, he comes over the jumbotron, hey, I'm here, and Elias there, Ezekiel's there, so that kind of thing.
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
Right.
So when Elias said, "Who wants to listen to Ezekiel?"
Who wants to listen to Ezekiel?
Yeah,
I laugh normally when something makes me laugh at wrestling, I give it a little, it's a little chuckle.
Right, yeah.
This I was like,
Who
wants to listen to Ezekiel talk?
Right. That's funny. All right, so later on in the show, the Street Profits beat RK Bro in a non-title match when the Usos music comes on and distracts Riddle. Dawkins rolls him up for the pin. You get your usual, that kind of stuff. So,
What up, bro?
There you go. Thank you, sir. All right, and then AJ Styles gets attacked by the Brooding Ministry, the House of Edge.
The House of
yeah,
Edge.
whatever we call it here. And then hey, look, Finn Balor. Finn Balor is back.
Finn
So is
Balor,
AJ.
yeah.
Back. All right,
Finn Balor is back.
Oh,
So
wait, is this the Finn Balor segment? Gotta go.
This is. You don't have to leave. All right, so yeah, let's get this out of the way while AJ's not here. Finn Balor is back to do the job to Theory. Theory, who wins the U.S. title. Wins the U.S. title. Vinnie Mac comes out to give him the approval and applaud him like an adopted son. So Theory, new U.S. title. We basically haven't even seen Finn since he won it. And maybe some sort of Mania, like Schmazzy Battle Royal match or something. But yeah, AJ, talk about your boy here, man.
He was an Andre the Giant Battle Royal thing.
Yeah, I lost it. What are they doing to my boy Finn? It's not like he's gonna move up the card. No, because he's not gonna take on.
You mean the first ever Universal Champion?
He's not. They're not gonna Vince is so done with him. And I don't know why. He's too small.
I feel like they never got started with him.
No, and it's like when he first got drafted, they pushed him to the moon. He was fucking awesome, and he deserved it. And then he got hurt, and that's it. That was it, and nothing else ever after that. And it pisses me off because I love him so much.
Finn's totally going to AEW when he gets the chance, right?
Oh my god! If he shows up as Prince Devitt in AEW one day, I'll poo. Just on the floor.
Well, make sure you got your scooper somewhere close.
No, it'll be Finn poo.
So we had this, commitment ceremony, whatever you want to call it. The only thing that was even funny was because R-Truth was hilarious during the whole thing. So, if you guys want to talk about it, go for it. But I'm moving on.
I'm good.
All right. And then right before the main event, Almost versus Lashley next week in an arm wrestling match. There you go.
Sure.
All right. Main event. Cody's in the ring as advertised, waiting for his mystery opponent, handpicked by Seth Rollins. Out comes KO.
My older brother.
Owens. Good match here. Seth comes back out and starts to ridicule KO for not putting Cody away, and so because he's had multiple opportunities. And so basically KO bails on Seth and says, this is your shit. This is your match. I'm out of here. So Cody wins by count out. Seth pushes Cody off the top rope as Raw goes off because Cody, I think, was going up there to celebrate, pump up the crowd, do something along that line. So as Raw goes off, Cody's laying down there, next to the guardrail. Seth's doing his there it is. Yeah, so and that was basically Monday Night Raw right there in a nutshell. Backlash card starting to unfold. We're going to get Seth and Cody again.
I have a prediction that I would like to place money on this prediction. If you guys are interested, I will bet that Seth Rollins turns face against Cody Rhodes. Any takers? Really? No?
Yeah, I'll take it because I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it is.
Like this soon?
Yeah.
Seth goes face, and that means Cody goes heel?
No. Face turn because he'll do a show like the Shane AJ from WrestleMania where Seth will show respect after Cody beats him again and he'll shake his hand and voila, face turn.
I'll bet you a Lucas Pizza.
Done and done.
All right, moving on to NXT.
What's that? Get out of here, Southern.
Pretty Deadly comes out to gloat about how easy it was to win the tag team titles. And then we were just talking about a Primo. Here they are, the grizzled young veterans. Soon to be recognized as the NXT tag team champions.
I haven't got to do that in a long time.
No, it's been a while.
So they return to let everybody know that they are back. El Legado Fantasma comes out and they brawl a GYV. So as that happens, weirdly and kind of oddly, Braun Breaker casually walks to the ring from the audience and calls out Joe Gacy. because he has the ring still, and he's pissed at him about caging up his dad, all that kind of stuff. So their feud still going on. Braun says he will go through whatever it takes to get to Gacy, and basically goes on a search of the arena. So basically the whole show, he's just going through there, the whole show, just like looking for Gacy and all these like different kind of places. So yeah, so we'll get back to that. But as the show progresses here, my favorite part of NXT right now, the man Andre Chase comes out to confront Grayson Waller.
It's a teachable moment.
Teachable moment. I do love it. I do
Teachable
love it.
moment. That's right. Love it, man. Love that stuff. So Grayson Waller.
Waller.
There he is.
Grayson Waller. We flipped roles here.
Yeah.
So Chase confronts Waller, but he bails on Sanga because Sanga follows Grayson Waller to the ring for their match, which Waller ends up winning. So Sanga was like Waller's, bodyguard there for a brief time. So
Waller. Yeah,
so,
I've never done it before, so I had to throw it in.
There you go.
Voila.
El Legado beat GYV in what I thought was match of the night. It was a Fast and Furious 10-minute match that was just awesome, man. I thought it was really good. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Later, Carmelo Hayes beats Pablo Escobar after two new guys with suits and hats show up. And
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar.
Did I say Pablo Escobar?
Pablo,
I did.
yeah.
I even wrote Pablo Escobar.
Back from the grave.
Pablo Escobar was in a wrestling match?
His cocaine days are behind him.
Yeah.
NXT time.
Yep. He's on the C brand.
So these two guys dressed up like the Don, so he's got some cronies now. So that's gonna be interesting going on down the line. Later on, also Cameron Grimes comes out as well as Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa.
Happy 420, Eric.
Solo Sikoa.
Oh my God, y'all are killing me, dude. All right, so basically he just comes out and stares Grimes down. All right, so next up, Natty wins over a Tatum Paxley, who is kind of an upstart, I guess, in NXT. But basically throughout the match, she mocked Cora Jade a lot, with the hat, and all that kind of stuff. And then backstage after the match, she's approached by Nikita Lyons, and Nikita basically tells Natty that after she's done with Lash, she's going to basically come after her, and she's not going to bully nobody and all that kind of stuff. So they were like, giving each other, oh no, you didn't kind of looks, so.
Oh, no,
And then next up, guys, we got a debut here. Roxanne Perez, also known as Roxy, from ROH, debut win here. She gets the dub. So she's pretty stoked. Main event. Gacy and Braun face off here. Braun gets the ring back. Gacy gets his title shot. That's the deal that they make with each other. So this is going to be at Spring Breakin'. BREAKIN is how they're spelling it. Spring Breakin'.
They're achy breaking heart.
Coming up in 2 weeks on Tuesday. It's going to be a regular show, just one of those more amplified shows like they do. So, but to add a little mustard onto the budding feud here, Gacy pushes Braun off like this little makeshift stage thing. They didn't show the bump. They just showed him pushing him off, and then the noise you hear, and then Braun laying there later. And then as he's kind of laying there, these 10 guys, I guess, girls could be in these cloaks, a la like the Druids, somewhat like goes over the top of Braun, and like he screams bloody murder. I don't know, like it's like horror chase, kind of thing. So yeah, it was kind of weird, but so they're starting to set up that card for coming up here. So that's NXT, man. Y'all got anything for NXT?
No, I really don't.
It was a weird show, man.
It was a weird episode.
Braun just kind of came out, obviously I love the Andre Chase part, but
you mean this?
What we have right now is a teachable moment.
I love that, man. Yeah. Love that guy. I hope all good things happen to him. I hope he gets on TV more, but yeah, it's just a little bit of hodgepodge. Like, I'm just getting a little old of the, Carmelo Trick Daddy thing. And like they're, just, I don't know, just the flow of the show. Just, I don't know. And then like, I want to see Creed Brothers.
More Nikita Lyons.
More Nikita Lyons. Yeah. I want to see the Creed Brothers. They has, what really on there. Looks like Roddy might be, possibly leaving Diamond Mine. So all kind of stuff working on there. So that's going to do it, boys, for the recap. Now it's time to talk about some NWA and WCW in the Dropkick Discussion of the week.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Face Jesus Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
All right, today's Dropkick Discussion of the week is Sting versus Cactus Jack. Falls count anywhere on the Gulf Coast. Man, this was a big match from WCW Beach Blast 1992. This one was held in Mobile, Alabama at the Mobile Civic Center. 5,000 people there, June 20th, 1992. Pinfalls count anywhere on the Gulf Coast. I thought that was pretty funny. They kept saying that, being where they are.
Anywhere on the Gulf Coast.
So from like Corpus Christi all the way to the Keys.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Or on the entrance ramp, like one of the.
Yeah.
About the same thing.
Good stuff here, man. So to kind of let you know where we are, Cactus Jack had attacked Sting in his debut in 1991, but had feuds with Van Hammer, Abdullah the Butcher, and others before he got to this match with Sting. Now, Sting had defeated Luger 2 pay-per-views prior to this at Super Brawl 2 in Milwaukee to become the WCW World Champion. So Sting was 4 months as champion into this match. He was very over into this title reign, so he was very over. Quick little note, boys. The patron saint royalty Junkyard Dog was on the dark match for this pay-per-view.
Dark. How dare they?
Yeah. He teamed with Tom Zink and Big Josh. Does anybody know who Big Josh is?
Big Josh is
Doink the Clown. Also Matt Bourne.
Weird.
Yeah, right.
He's not very big. Why are they calling him Big Josh?
Big Josh, right, yeah.
Average Josh.
He defeated Tracy Smothers, Ricky Morton, and DDP. So that was the match that Junkyard Dog was in. Yeah, 1992. So,
weird.
Yeah, good stuff. So this match, 12 minutes of absolute fury. It's awesome. You are locked into this thing. We talked about this match with Connor Hopkins later in the interview. So really good stuff here. Mick Foley often refers to this match at this point in his life as his best work and one of his proudest moments. And we got Jim Ross and Jesse Ventura on commentary. So right off the bat, Cactus comes out to some eerie ass music, man. Y'all check this out.
Recognize that?
It's called the Funeral March.
Yeah, it's Taker. Taker before Taker.
So it was some eerie stuff, man. So, and it just fit him so well. He was billed from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, which is always my favorite. Other than Parts Unknown, obviously, right? So
Parts
Truth or
Unknown.
Consequences.
Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
I love how the intensity of this match started when he comes out. He's giving the crazy looks, right? Cactus comes out first, pronouns pal. And then, so he turns around and kneels on the ramp and waits for Sting to come out. So Sting comes out. He's got this rockerish baby face. Dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a man.
Hit it, Primo. Hit it, Primo. Primo's us.
Oh!
There it is.
Pretty good.
All right, so Sting's Primo's got the Sting face paint on today, so very well done there by him. So the crowd is obviously going nuts when his music hits, and then he's in the all pink tights, pink boots, classic black scorpion on his right leg with the pink, black, and white face paint, just as Primo has on right now. Cactus Jack has the usual black with some leopard boots and cactus prints on both legs. And then Sting comes right out, takes the belts off, and they go at it here to start. So what do you guys got here right up to this point?
So, I just have one thing. That's it. Before the match starts. And it's right here. Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff.
I just said, Eric Bischoff, I know it's Beach Blast, but never, ever wear that shirt again.
That was a theme.
JR's wearing one too, but it's cool.
Yeah, because it's JR.
Yeah, don't ever do that again.
Like 12-year-old Eric Bischoff, stop it. And I like how Tony Schiavone's idea of beach attire is just a regular polo. Yeah, just a regular polo. I was so psyched to see Jesse Ventura again because I love him so much. And he was all decked out in, I guess, beach wear. It was like a boa and sunglasses.
Kind of looks like he normally does, yeah.
So yeah, some Daisy Dukes I believe he had on. It was fantastic. The entrances, so Surfer Sting, like I've talked about this many times, my absolute favorite as a kid, the reason why I'm a wrestling fan is Surfer Sting.
Yeah.
And like just to watch him come out and not be like, I'm a babyface, I'm going to be nice No, he came out and he threw the belt off and he charged at Cactus Jack like a goddamn fiery babyface should. Fucking love it. Also, I love that Cactus Jack kneeled on the ramp waiting for Sting. I got real Bray Wyatt vibes from him, and I really like that. I was like, I wonder how much Bray Wyatt has watched this match of Cactus Jack because he was scary. He was a little off.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely was, man. I mean, anybody that comes out to this sick shit right here, man, like
unless you're a Taker,
right?
Bomb.
Yes. So, all right. So I'll try to explain this the best I can. This shit was nuts, man. So the brawl ensues to start the match. Sting goes for a backslide pin that was very popular in the 80s and 90s. Not once did it ever work that I see. Maybe once.
I think British Bulldog might have done it one time.
Yeah.
I made that up. I don't know if British
you don't know.
Bulldog
Okay. I was told
he might have.
So,
by the way, wait, really quick. I forgot to mention before the match when Sting came out with the belt, it wasn't Big Goldie. I was like, when did they start using Big Goldie?
I think that was the belt right before Big Goldie because that one was
the same one Vader had.
Yeah, it was a little one of their more punier titles.
That
they had. Yeah,
it was weird.
Ron Simmons had that belt. I was trying to think. Rick Rude, I think, might have had that belt. But yeah, so yeah, pretty awesome stuff.
Okay, sorry about that. Sorry.
That's okay. Cactus Jack takes his first hard bump here when Sting whips him off the ropes. Now they're still outside the ring on the ramp, which is where the beginning of the match takes place and the end of the match, which I thought was just brilliant. You know what I mean? Like everybody it wasn't like, it was Falls Count Anywhere on the Gulf Coast, but Falls Count Anywhere, like I said, I'm glad they didn't, do a pin up on the concourse by a popcorn machine or something, bashing sodas over each other's head. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they didn't do that. So Sting whips Jack off of the ropes outside the ring and hip tosses him. and Sting misses a splash, and the action stays outside as basically they're going back and forth, but Cactus kind of starts to take control. Jesse reiterates a lot throughout this match that it's a non-title match and falls count anywhere, so he says that a couple times. Cactus just does not care about his body at this point. He is taking hard bumps. He's doing a sunset flip off the apron onto the concrete where there's no mat at all, trying to go for a pin, like totally taking a hard bump, man, just really bad. So these guys are just bashing each other's heads back and forth on guardrails, taking all kind of stuff like that. And then so they actually get in the ring for a small amount of time, and I think almost kind of to just rest for a minute, and then they spill back outside now. Cactus starts to take more bumps here, and he's starting to kick out of Sting's pin attempts because Sting's starting to jump on him to try to, catch a sneak win, grabbing each little pins when he can. But small rallies by Cactus Jack, who takes another bump on the apron while clotheslining Sting out of the ring. So when he's doing big bumps to Sting, he's taking almost an even harder one himself. You know what I mean? So it just shows you the commitment here. And then Cactus hits Sting with a few chair shots, and then we see the first time we see bang bang,
bang bang,
bang bang.
Do it. Feels good.
Bang bang,
bang bang.
There you go. Yeah.
Bang bang.
So pile driver attempt comes up next by Cactus Jack that Sting got out of partially while he was trying to perform the move, but which ends up leading to an elbow attempt by Cactus that misses, and then they head back to the entrance ramp here. Sting gets a chair and hits Cactus with 4 really hard chair shots, goes for the Scorpion Deathlock, but Cactus pulls them both off the ramp in a very smart move on Cactus's part. A double arm DDT by Cactus leads to a false finish again. Sting kicks out, and then Sting wakes up all of a sudden. It's like he got momentum, and he sees Cactus walking towards the ring when Cactus, I don't know what he was doing, but he was just kind of walking away from Sting being laid out. He thinks Sting is laid out. So he sees Cactus, and he hits him with a clothesline as Cactus is laying there on the ramp outside the ring. And then we get to the finish here. Sting runs into the ring, goes to the top rope. He's going to jump outside onto the entrance ramp. So he is on the top of the turnbuckle. Cactus starts to get up a little bit. Sting hits him with a flying clothesline off the top rope onto the entrance ramp. Sting pins Cactus for the 1, 2, 3. Crowd goes nuts. Wow. Amazing. Right. Like unbelievable. Like tell me what you got, boys.
Primo.
Well, I love how they started the match on the ramp.
Same.
And in Jesse Ventura says, in WCW, because they spill out, it's whenever they does the senton. It's right before he does the senton, because Sting takes the bump to the outside. And Jesse Ventura goes, in WCW, there are no mats outside the ring. I mean, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Thanks. Yeah. I'm watching the same product you are.
Right.
I can see. And then I was laughing when Cactus did that senton to the outside, and then he hit the barricade and moved the barricade, because the old folks that managed to get the front row seats right there, they look terrified.
They did.
I loved those old folks.
And then whenever they went into the crowd, the little kid touched Sting. I just read it. That little kid got to go to school on Monday and tell all of his friends that he touched Sting.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I sure would have.
At one point, Jesse says, "It's not
yeah.
World Championship Wrestling tonight. It's World Championship Street Fight." And I said, "No, it's not, Jesse Ventura. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match."
Right.
Anywhere in the Gulf.
And then anywhere in the Gulf. And then I said, "Bang bang," because that's when he did it. And then I said, they really are running it into the ground that this is in fact WCW. In case we forgot.
Right.
I cringed a lot during this match.
Me too.
A lot. especially when they got around the barricades, because they're just those thin metal barricades, and they just look painful. And like you said, that every time Cactus delivered a move, most of his offense was probably equally offensive against himself. So, if not worse. And then the victory with the diving clothesline, that was nice. And I really liked how they ended the match exactly where it began.
Same. Yep. I like that.
So, first of all, those bumps that Cactus was taking, they were by far worse than Sting, who was receiving them. Except for the suplex that happened in the crowd, because that looked like it'd be equally painful for both of them. But other than that, Cactus was landing on his hips. He was landing on his knees. All of them looked gross. Cactus didn't give a shit. I did like how at one point JR was like, "Oh, if this wasn't this kind of match, Cactus Jack would be disqualified for coming off that top rope." It's like, oh yeah, that's a fucking rule in WCW at this point in time.
Right.
Yeah.
You cannot come off the top rope. Middle rope, yes. Good old Brett's rope, but the top rope, nope, absolutely not.
Nope.
I did like how the match started. I loved Sting's babyface fire, and it was not the kind of match where you're rooting for one person or another. You're just rooting for one, Cactus not to kill himself, and two, just for the coolness to keep going, because it was a really cool match. There were no real signature spots except for the DDT, the underhook DDT. And I did like how when Sting went for the Scorpion Deathlock, they just oozed off the stage. They were just
yes, they melted off the stage.
Yeah. It's
they were just kind of
yeah.
That actually made me laugh.
Yeah.
The Bang Bang was cool.
Classic.
We need to implement that somehow. And yeah, the finish was from the first camera angle, it looked like Sting was a mile and a half away from.
Yeah, it did look like he was far.
Really far. I was how the fuck is he gonna? But then they brought it to the side, and it was still really far, but not nearly as far. So when Sting got the win, of course, 10-year-old me was going nuts. Adult me was also yeah, pretty cool. Only one thing that I kind of wish they would have done differently in this match is that I wish it would have been for the title. I think it would have been cooler. I think it would have popped the crowd more.
Yeah, I think he was already set to go meet Vader for the title.
Yeah.
To defend it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I do like how they played into his broken ribs and
sure did.
I like that. And they kind of put Sting over as a babyface, being this isn't a title match, and yet he's still going out there giving it his all. But I still wish it was for the title. But what a great match! What a fun, great match! I love Surfer Sting.
Yeah, I love watching this too, man. So, all right, AJ, kick us off, man. How many marks out of 10 do you give it, my friend?
Well, how many marks do I give there? I'll go 7. It's another good solid 7 for me. Nothing really on the line, but I'll go 7.5 just because it was cool to see Surfer Sting again, and Cactus Jack is fucking awesome. So yeah, 7.5 smelly marks.
The Primos.
Well, the Primos will give this. I gotta go on a scale of 10 marks. I'm gonna go.
Smelly
8,
too.
I'm gonna go 8. 8 out of 10 very smelly marks. I thought for 2 reasons. Number one, you're getting early Cactus Jack. That's awesome.
Sure.
And also, everybody from my generation and the generation before me loved Surfer Sting. So
best.
I will never not love that.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm right
and
there too.
Also, the chaos of the match, the way they started the match, they told the story there.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get over how they started and finished the match in the same spot.
Yeah.
My ideal wrestling match amongst anybody, I like my big guys hoss fights, but I like fast and furious matches. I love those hardcore, 10, 12, 15-minute heaters where Like it's just constant action, whether they're punching or just like constant, like there's no breaks, like they're constantly going at it. So I love these kind of matches. I'm agreeing with AJ here. I'm going to go with like a 7.5 because, there wasn't no stakes on it. I mean, it was a pay-per-view match, and they were working towards the Vader thing. But, hang on, I got to sneeze.
While Dirty is sneezing, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, so, so I'm going to go 7.5, man. But, I love these kind of matches. And, I mean, who don't love Mick Foley, watching Mick take bumps? Like, whoo, the man had no worry at all about any single bone or anything in his body. So,
no.
All right, guys.
Fuck bones.
Yeah. So next week we're going to watch Goldberg versus Hogan when Goldberg wins the title. I was in the house that night, so this was going to be fun for me to go back and watch, and maybe I can, come up with some things I remember that happened that night. But I was very high up in the Georgia Dome. Probably, I was probably knocking pigeons off my seat to sit down. I'm pretty sure I was that high. So, probably about as high as I am today. Oh,
very good.
There it is.
Run it all
there
back.
it is. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one, man. Dylan's going to be with us next week, so we're going to be covering that one. So that's going to do it for this week, boys. Good match there for the Dropkick Discussion of the week.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks.
All right, time for the interview for this week. Now, that guy that you just heard talking, Bucky Collins, he's in a cage match against Connor Hopkins this Saturday night, April 23rd, at the Zawa Live 5-year anniversary show in Dixon, Illinois. Me and Primo had the pleasure of speaking with Connor Hopkins. He is the Handsome Coyote in Those Damn Coyotes. He corrected me. I've been calling them. It's those. So I got that right, and I had a blast talking to him, man. You guys are going to love Connor Hopkins, man. And if you don't know him already, man, go look up some of his stuff. You're going to hear us talk about him and Hartenbauer's match, and that kind of stuff. He's had this basically 2-year rivalry with Bucky Collins. Primo, man, I mean, you just know this guy is going to have a great career in wrestling, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I said it last night, great looking kid. And he's great at what he's currently into. He's got a good personality, great, coming up in his wrestling. He's young and he's hungry. He's super hungry. So I am excited to watch him grow and see where he goes.
Yeah, and he's you're going to learn all about him here, but he's got the biggest match in his career thus far coming up this Saturday night. So, without further ado, here's the interview with the wild child from Those Damn Coyotes, Connor Hopkins. All right, our guest today has his hands in much more than wrestling, and we're going to let you know all about it. But he is already winning titles at a very young age, and he is the former Zawa Live champion and a member of Them Damn Coyotes. Joining us is the wild child, Connor Hopkins. Welcome, my brother.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. And DB, you were actually right the first time. It is Those Damn Coyotes.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So to start things off right off the bat, I have to take credit. I did come up with the name. And when I was looking it up, there is actually a group already, or maybe it's like a song that they have called Them Damn Coyotes. So I had to make sure to make it Those Damn Coyotes so that we didn't infringe on anything.
Thank you for correcting me, because I think I've been laying on Them Damn Coyotes for this whole time. So
it's all good.
All right. So stand corrected, brand corrected. Those Damn Coyotes, right? There we go. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Now we got it, man. Welcome, brother. Good to see you, man. You're on fire right now. You got a fucking huge weekend this Saturday night, dude. What's the nerves feeling like right now, man? We're going to talk about a lot of that going on.
Dude, first of all, yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys. I've been listening to the show since you guys have come on at Zawa. I love every episode. You guys do great stuff. But yeah, to jump right into it, man, the nerves for this Saturday are unbelievably high right now. This weekend is not only the 5th year celebration of Zao Alive, it is not only the culmination of 2+ years of storytelling between myself and Bucky, it's also my first ever steel cage match. And
wow.
the factor of all of those things, I'm already an anxious and high-strung person as it is, and as soon as I usually try to go week to week for wrestling. Like, okay, let's worry about this next weekend. Let's worry about the weekend after that.
Gotcha.
And man, now that it's coming up this weekend, I am laser sights ahead, just completely focused on it.
Nice. Real quick, I just got to ask this. So how does one prepare for a steel cage, especially if you haven't, done one yet? And are you studying any film? Are there any steel cage matches you're studying?
Yeah. Do you have a nice pair of blue jeans and boots ready? Is what he's really wanting to ask.
Well, yeah. I have actually been going back and I have been watching some old school cage matches just to get that good old big fight feel. Although I also have to plug one of my favorite steel cage matches from when I was coming up as a wrestling fan. It happened in 2009, I think. It was CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy for Jeff Hardy's career in the WWE.
Yeah.
You're talking Primo's language.
That one hurts.
Oh, dude. The emotion in that match is just so fantastic. So I watched that. I also have studied Jimmy Rave versus CM Punk from ROH, that cage match. That match is awesome. So yeah, I've kind of just been bouncing all over the place trying to prepare myself. I'm not much of one for hardcore matches and things like that. I don't have a lot of experience in it. But I'm trying to draw on the little bit of experience that I do have in matches of that type.
Right. Yeah. And, we'll talk about that. It kind of changes the whole aspect because, you're limited outside space, if any, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So we're definitely going to get into that. So, Connor, man, let's rewind, brother. Where did wrestling start for you, dude?
Yeah. So I've been a wrestling fan, since I was a little kid. And honestly, that's the same thing as, anyone that you'll ask. But my actual venture into wrestling started when I was in high school, because I went to high school with none other than one Bailey Bright. Bailey and I went to the same high school at the same time. He was a year or two older than I was. We used to wrestle on the trampoline in my backyard. And
nice.
We played football together. We ran track together. He was the only other wrestling fan in school that I knew of. And so he graduated and he actually came back one day just to say hello to everyone and was he had debuted, I think at that point, or was about to debut for Funky Monkey, which at this point you guys have heard about extensively.
Yep.
And so he was about to debut for Funky and came up to me and was like, "Hey man, you're a senior now. Have you ever thought about trying this for real?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah. Sign me up. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Hey, message this guy, Zeke Zishi, on Facebook and see about this new training school he's opening named Zawa."
Sweet.
And so I graduated from high school in May of 2017. And then I think the next week was taking bumps in the Zawa ring.
That's
and
awesome.
Getting after it.
Just full blown, let's go, right? Jump
yeah. And actually, during my high school career, there was one time I did have a little bit of training going into it because there was one time, and I would be remiss if I didn't get this story on your podcast.
All right.
There was this small traveling indie company that came through and they said that they were offering quote unquote seminars. And so basically what the seminar was you hand the guy $50 and you set up the ring and then he gets you in the ring and then he says, "All right, this is how you lock up. This is how you take a bump." And halfway through this, again, quote unquote seminar, because it wasn't really much of anything.
Right.
Mantar shows up because Mantar was traveling with that company. And so Mantar gets in the ring and just holds his arm out and says, all right, run into this and bump. And so we basically just fed for Mantar for like a half hour straight. And this ring, I didn't know it at the time because I didn't know anything about actual professional wrestling.
Sure.
This ring was the shit. It was
right.
It was boards with carpet padding, like half-inch thick carpet padding and a vinyl canvas, and that was it. And so like I hit my head probably a half dozen times. And so just me and a couple of my high school buddies, we all did it. And by the end of it, we were just so sick from hitting our heads so much. We all walked back to my buddy's house, laid on his couch for like 2 hours, took a bunch of ibuprofen, and then came to the show that night. And we made up most of the audience.
That's great.
And then we had to tear down the ring afterwards.
Oh, no. Man, I'd already bounced by then, dude.
Yeah.
But
that's amazing.
You were committed.
So coming to Zawa with actual training was fantastic. It was phenomenal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's like 5 years ago now. 5 years you've been wrestling, and you've been the Zawa champion already. I'll be honest. I discovered Connor Hopkins versus Mike Hartenbauer, in the championship, because right about the time, we discovered Zawa, started getting involved. Hartenbauer was a fresh champion, not real fresh, so I had to go back and watch some stuff, and that's where I seen Connor Hopkins there. So but now obviously Zawa is it's kind of like your home base, but you're picking up some steam, man. We're seeing you now, Minnesota, Missouri, places like that. What's been going on lately in Connor's world? You wrestled Eric Cannon, right?
I did. I'm so happy that you asked.
Ooh.
So I was.
Tell me, please.
I was Zawa champion. I won that belt in July of 2020. Actually, I beat Bucky Collins in the finals of a championship tournament to win the belt.
Nice.
There you go. 2 years storyline, people.
Yeah. Cheap plug. I was the longest reigning Zawa Live heavyweight champion. Just after 406 days, but who's counting?
There you go. There you go.
Let them know.
Yeah. Then Hartenbauer beat me, ending that reign. And since then, man, I've been doing everything that I can to get out there. I really, I just want to get out there and be everywhere that I can.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of gigs in lacrosse for RCCW up there. They were like my home away from home for a while. I did
Wisconsin,
Milwaukee. Yes. Yep. That's correct.
Okay.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin for a bit. I'm starting to break into the Twin Cities area, which has been awesome. Shout out Higher Ground Wrestling up there.
Yep.
They've been phenomenal. They allowed me to have one of my dream matches in wrestling Eric Cannon not too long ago. And that match was that was, every once in a while you have those matches that are like, okay, this is the next level. And Eric Cannon is very much that gatekeeper to that next level.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a Minnesota wrestling god as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my God.
Right? Like even farther than that, but like Minnesota, everything runs through Eric Cannon as far as as far as I know.
And two, I am a huge fan of early 2000s indie wrestling, Ring of Honor, Give It To Me. But the 2004 IWA Mid-South Ted Petty Invitational is my favorite wrestling event of all time, period. It is a 2-night tournament featuring all of the biggest names in wrestling today.
I went to that one time when I think Matt Riddle won it one year, maybe. I think I went to the night before, not the actual night, but very big tournament. Love it.
And in 04, you have guys like Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles, CM Punk, Jimmy Rave, Claudio Castagnoli, Mike Quackenbush, Samoa Joe, Nigel McGuinness, like Petey Williams, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, like all of these names in this one tournament. It's phenomenal. And Eric Cannon was in that tournament.
Dang.
And so I got to wrestle Eric Cannon.
That's cool.
And it just made my little nerd heart explode.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
He even wore the trash bag pants that he wore during that tournament out to the ring. when we wrestled.
Ooh, how
So,
great is that, man?
Yeah, it just completely broke me.
You had no shot.
Yeah, like I had no
One of your
idea.
heartstrings.
It completely shattered me. But yeah, to your point, man, I've been, trying to get out there more. I'm heading to Kansas City, Missouri here in a bit. I'm licensed in Missouri now, so that's pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
St. Louis Anarchy, been trying to get on there. I'm going to be heading down there for their Dingo Invitational to do a seminar there.
Man, that got big.
Oh, man. Holy cow.
Biff's there. Biff's coming now. Is he the one doing a seminar? Or is it Biff's doing it?
Yeah, Biff's doing a seminar, which it was supposed to be Alex Shelley, and now it's Biff Busick. But honestly, either way, it's totally worth it.
Oh, yeah, knowledge.
Yeah, both those guys.
Yeah, knowledge overload. So, so you're trying to get your name out there. So, what are you watching on TV right now, man? Who you liking in AEW? Who you liking in WWE? Like, who's making you turn your TV on mainstream wrestling?
Yeah. So my number one guy right now and always is Adam Cole. I love Adam Cole so much. I get a lot of flack for it, for being a nerd about it, but you know what, man? I don't care. He's my guy.
Yeah. He's awesome.
I also love Hook. I think that Hook is just the greatest.
The mystique alone, right?
Yeah, it's great. His presentation, he comes out to an Action Bronson song,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. We've had that one on the pod before, talking about it.
Yeah. I think that wrestling on TV right now is very good. So I'm tuning in all the time, especially to everything AEW is doing. That is my genre of wrestling. And so I love it to death.
Yeah. Nice. Let's talk about who do you think the GOAT is? Who's your greatest ever to you?
Oh,
if you had to pick one.
Okay. So I have been thinking about this a little bit because I knew that this was probably going to be a question that gets brought up.
Probably.
In my mind, I think the greatest overall wrestler of all time is probably Shawn Michaels in terms of character work, longevity to an extent, just staying power, high profile matches. His in-ring work is always excellent. I think that Shawn takes the cake. But in certain aspect, I don't think that he takes it in any individual aspect.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't think he's the greatest, technical wrestler of all time. I don't think he's the greatest character of all time. But overall, if we're talking,
say it collectively, yeah.
Yes, overall, he is probably the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I always like to see where everybody's angle goes with that. So I mean, that's as good as answer as any. I mean, he's always.
I'd be inclined to agree.
Up there, yeah, as one of the fronts. So is a little bit of Shawn Michaels in Connor Hopkins? Is that where the wild child comes from? A little sexy boy, maybe. What?
There is definitely an influence there.
Yeah.
From the way that I dress to the way that I try to carry myself. From the way that I usually in a match will tee off for the sweet chin music, even though it always gets countered because who couldn't see that coming? But it's about style, baby. It's about style.
That's right.
I know.
I love
it. It's a show here.
Yeah, I think that Shawn does have a huge influence on me. And I think that there's a direct sort of lineage of that because I think Shawn influenced a generation of guys that influenced then your guys like Adam Cole, because Adam Cole is a direct descendant of Shawn Michaels.
Adam Cole,
for sure.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that I am starting to riff some things from them as well. It's very interesting to see how that all bleeds down.
Yeah. So would Shawn be your answer as your dream match, dead or alive?
Actually, I have a different dream match, dead or alive.
Sure.
I would love to either wrestle Adam Cole, obviously,
baby,
or I really want to rest in peace. I really wanted to wrestle Jimmy Rave. Jimmy Rave is a guy that I found in the midst of the pandemic and just religiously watched all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rave is one of those guys that I don't think got enough flowers before he passed. He was the epitome of how to be a good heel in wrestling. I mean, the man got toilet paper thrown at him in Ring of Honor. Like, people would specifically bring toilet paper to pelt Jimmy Rave with in Ring of Honor. Like, I think that I would have a fantastic match with Jimmy Rave.
So, Connor, would you say you're like a Northwest Illinois based wrestler, and then so is that how it all came about with those damn Coyotes, with Christian Rose, Damian Deschain, and Brooks Berna? You guys all collectively make up, is that where, you guys training together, working out? I'm sure all that kind of, is that how you guys became kind of like a faction together?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely the way that it happened. We traveled together to all of these shows. We would ride together. One of my first long wrestling road trips was myself, Christian Rose, and Damian Deschain all hopped in the car and went to Journey Pro in Kansas City. And that was kind of my introduction to traveling with those guys. Right. And then Berna came along and he started riding with us because the only criteria really were like wrestling and like having fun doing it. Right. And we noticed that for a while there were a lot of groups in the Midwest calling themselves factions. There was kind of a thing, and we were fed up, and we were like, why is there not anything in Illinois like that? Like,
gotcha.
Why all the, Indiana, Kansas City, those guys, whatever.
Yeah, St. Louis has Team Ambition now.
Yeah, exactly. And like the Premier are doing their thing.
Premier. Yeah.
And so it was like, Christian Rose has a line that he says that the Midwest is 100,000 towns of 1,000 or less. And we represent those 100,000 towns.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
And so that was kind of the idea that came to it, is like, we're just guys who like to drink and gamble and fight and have fun doing it, And so that's kind of where the whole idea of those damn Coyotes came from.
Love it, man. Yeah. And you guys have merch. You guys do live broadcast on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Of you guys taking questions, talking to fans, that kind of stuff. Where can people buy the merch though? Push that here real quick.
Yeah, you can buy those damn Coyotes merch anywhere that you can find me, because I am the merchandiser for the group. I design all of the merch. Guy here. Yeah, I design all of the merch. I get it made. I sell it. I like to have my hands on the operation. And so, yeah, if you ever want to, we actually just got new camo t-shirts with our knockoff Ramones
Those are logo. Sweet. I was going to say, It looks just like Ramones.
Yeah, that is on
Which
purpose,
is awesome.
Man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So we got those. We got the classic logo shirts. We have magnets, koozies, stickers, 8x10s, you name it. We got it. But yeah, just come find me.
Yep. And he'll have
and
all
then
that
also,
with him too. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also check out the Coyote Corners. Those are on Facebook, usually Friday nights before we all go to Rocket Pro Wrestling in Joliet. So usually like the first or second Friday of the month.
I might have to get the boys to pick me up a shirt from you.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, yeah.
That I'm serious. That Ramones shirt is badass. I like it.
They're sweet. I love them.
All right, well, just go ahead and order him an extra large, Connor. I'll get it from you Saturday. All right, so one more thing. A lot of people have asked me, they're like, hey, man, because they see the social media stuff and they go, hey, we see you're, been doing some work with Zawa Live Wrestling. What's that like? Where, so I've been kind of explaining to people. So, and honestly, people go back, in the days of YouTube now, IWTV, all that kind of stuff, people say, oh, well, what's a good match to go watch, and to kind of, help kind of bring you up to speed of what's going on, and the first match I always tell people to go to is the match that was pointed to me, you, Connor, versus Mike Hartenbauer, which Hartenbauer is now still champion. He's facing Cody James this Saturday, so he's got another big task on his hands. So, to me, that's the match I always point to, and tell people to go check out, and then I say, after that, you can, you really kind of see what's going on, especially watching some of that card, because, storylines are still being folded out from that card. So just talk to me real quick about that. Was you very familiar with Hartenbauer, going into that match, just talk about how, that ended up kind of sneakily being one of the biggest Zawa matches in this 5 years that we've already been going through, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of an interesting story. So Hartenbauer, I hadn't ever been on a show with Hartenbauer until we did the World's Dumbest Rumble, and that would have been in October of 2020, and he won that for the number one contendership. So then I believe at the next show after that was the first time that we ever worked together. And that match, right off the bat, we had great chemistry. It was super easy working with Mike. We have like a very similar mindset when it comes to wrestling. And so it was very easy to work with him. And then, we just kind of built this story from there almost on accident, just because it was in the middle of the pandemic and it was so stop-start trying to get things to move. But we had this great story that unfolded. And so I'm going to assume the match that you're talking about that drew you in is when Mike beat me for the belt, right?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. That match is still the best example of how just good wrestling can draw emotion out of anyone. Honestly, I don't remember too much of the match. I was in such a haze. If you watch my face as I come out of like the curtain, the lights are on, but nobody's home. I was so fired up. I thought I was going to pass out. It was the most adrenaline.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It was the most adrenaline I've ever had. We had a great match, had a great time doing it. Took some hellacious bumps in that match.
Did.
But I think that was, so Mike and I had almost been married to each other at that point, but it was good to see that we could still do something original and something fun and something that was well received by an audience, because the audience wanted to see me lose so badly.
Sure.
They hated me.
The dastardly Connor Wildchild.
Exactly.
Right.
And so they just bit on everything and they loved it.
Yeah, and like I said, we know the history of Funky Monkey, but not even watching a whole lot of Zawa. Like I felt like that night, it was like Zawa, leveled up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like leveled up, and this is just from the wrestlers, and the each time we go, the crowds have gotten bigger. Here we're talking about close to a sellout Saturday night. I mean, the train is definitely picking up momentum. Is going, man. A lot of that's got to do with you, man, too. So, props to you, man. And so we'll talk about Zawa a little bit more here shortly, man. But earlier in the pod, man, we reviewed Cactus Jack versus Sting from the 1992 Beach Blast. We had a blast watching this crazy match, man. Give me your thoughts on this one, dude.
So right off the bat, I was hooked. From the moment that Cactus comes out and just sits on the ramp waiting for Sting, I was like, oh, this is badass. This is awesome.
The eerie music too.
Love it.
And
love it.
And it's wild to me because a lot of quote unquote hardcore stuff from that era doesn't really hold up today because it's so cartoonish. But this match is brutal. They are taking Mick Foley, bless his heart.
Oh man. Gave it all, didn't he?
Holy shit. I actually was messaging some of my buddies and I was like, I'm watching this match and it is a perfect example of how great wrestling is timeless. Because that match today, if they had it, would still get the same reaction.
Absolutely.
From everything to Mick Foley does a diving sunset flip on the outside. For no reason.
No reason.
No goddamn reason.
Right. And it's WCW, and they're like, no outside pads.
No mats.
Straight concrete bump. Ugh.
And I love that it's non-title and it just proves that Sting will fight anybody. I was texting my friends too. I was like, listen, man, if I was growing up during this time, I would have been a WCW guy. just because of this match. I would have been a Sting guy and I would have been a WCW guy.
Yeah.
Because for a while I had my my WWF New Gen kick where I was watching a bunch of stuff from the early to mid 90s.
Sure.
And now going back and watching that, I watched most of that pay-per-view and was like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is so great."
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to date myself again. I probably shouldn't do this too much, but yeah. So Connor, long story short, I grew up in North Carolina, in 1992, dude, like I'm 17 years old. Like,
oh yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm eating this up like 5 cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like I loved it. Like, give me more of this. You know what I'm saying? So going back and watching this for me is like really nostalgic. And I went to a ton of shows. So yeah, I feel like I had no choice but to be a WCW guy. Like, I mean, this particular show was in Mobile, Alabama, but a lot of it went on in my backyard in Greensboro and Raleigh and in Georgia, not too in Atlanta, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's why I like going back and watching this, because sometimes I feel like the way WCW ended is the way everybody remembers it. You know what I mean? Like, it was great. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, like, I like it a little more leaning towards the NWA side, because that's just kind of like my era, of growing. Everybody's got their own, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, everybody's always like, oh, it was so bad. Yeah, it was in the end, man, but there was so much good,
Oh yeah. And I think that WWE has done a disservice over the years of rewriting the narrative of WCW and being like, oh, it was always bad and everything. But no, the more I go back and rewatch some stuff, there was great wrestling all the time. Like, it's no wonder that they were beating the WWF for so long in the ratings. Like, it's interesting to go back and rewatch that and see that. And even dating back to 1992, like, they were doing stuff that was insane for what, like, the current wrestling product was.
Yeah. And it's like, I love the storytelling of, even though it was Falls Count Anywhere, they didn't rob you of, like, of Cactus getting pinned, up by the popcorn machine on the concourse. You know what I'm saying? It was all done mostly right there. The big bumps are right there on the ramp, on the spot. So like, I love that part of it where, I mean, Sting was white hot. I mean, the pink pants alone gets him over, right?
Yeah.
Like, love it, dude. Yeah. So, yeah, it was great stuff, man. So, are you watching a lot of, I know that I text you and I say, hey, man, we're going to talk about this match. So, go check it out. And you did. And I appreciate you doing that, man. So, do you watch much WCW?
I can't say that I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I will watch stuff every now and again if I get a wild hair. I've been listening to Bucky and Havens' Y2 Kill Me podcast, where they've been reviewing 2000s WCW.
Yeah.
And so every now and again, I'll tune in to see what they're talking about. And the thing is like, even then, when they were on, they were still really good. Like, they could still do some fun stuff. And that's what wrestling should be. It should be fun.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, I mean, I've watched some WCW stuff. I've gotten, most of the high points. I need to dig into some of the more hidden classics, though. That's kind of I need to go back and watch the matches that everyone raves about. I mean, like, even going back and watching most of that pay-per-view, it opens with Brian Pillman versus Scotty Flamingo.
Yes.
And that match is awesome.
Yeah. A lot of sneaky hidden ones like that. Yeah. So, yeah, and we're kind of right in the midst of the little WCW Starrcade. Like, this month, we are going over famous WCW matches, as this one was, and then next month we're flipping the switch. We're going to Starrcade matches. So yeah, so can't recommend that era enough. So all right, Connor, let's talk about some other stuff, man. So, outside of wrestling, today on our Sit Down Marks Twitter account, I wanted to put out there. So when we talked about it, I would say, hey, you can go back on our Twitter account if you can't find it anywhere else. You're a filmmaker, right? I mean, technically, you just did a really awesome documentary that we just shared on our Twitter account. Go check it out. And it is a documentary. I'm going to let you speak on it, but long story short, Damien Deschain, who is a young wrestler like yourself, you made a documentary about him and his wrestling happenings up until his debut match and everything that happened in between. So was that fun, man? Talk to us about that, man.
Yeah. So the debut was my senior project in college. And I knew, based on my major, one of the things that you could do for your senior project was make a short subject documentary film. And so I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted it to be about wrestling because I'm a wrestling nerd through and through.
Yeah.
And
you really interested in like filmmaking, movies, all that
yeah,
kind of stuff? Like you,
I love
gotcha.
film. I love doing video work. And so originally the project was supposed to be about Christian Rose's last match in Kansas City. He was dealing with some health issues at the time and was going to be stepping away from Kansas City. He was going to have one last match and kind of ride off into the sunset. And so I had that film written, ready to shoot. And then 2 days before I was going to drive to Kansas City, we got sent home because of the pandemic. That was in March of 2020. And so I'm sitting on this film and going into my senior year of college and not knowing what I was going to do, like, because, well, Rose got better and is in like the best shape of his life now and is totally okay. So he's not having his last match there anymore. And it just kind of worked out that in August, you know, because me and Damien talk, you know, we're friends. Sure. He was like, hey, Zeke told me my first match is going to be in September. And I immediately was like, hey, I'm going to do a film about this. And so immediately started working on it. Dove into script and research and planning and stuff and pre-production. Got the first like third of the project done in 3 weeks, which for those who know anything about filmmaking was insanely fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Had to get approval from my advisor at school to do it and everything. And we blazed through it. And then, yeah, I grabbed a camera and I drove down to Illinois and filmed it all over the course of 3 weekends. Or maybe it was 2 weekends. No, I think it was just 2 weekends because it was the training leading up to his first match and then his first match that later that weekend and then following up a week later. But yeah, it was incredibly fun, a very rewarding process. And honestly, like I was just, you know, hanging out at a show and filming the everyday goings on. So, I mean, it was easy for me because I did that, you know, like it was just something that I knew how to do already. And so, yeah, the whole production process was a lot of fun. And then finally with editing and everything, put it out for everyone to view in January of 2021.
Nice. And, you know, is this kind of maybe what Connor would like to do in the future? You know, you want to do, you know, this kind of stuff maybe, or, you know, you a little more, you know, are you a little more like a, you know, might see a little more as like maybe as an activist or something, you know, like, you know, some of that stuff. So I've seen you maybe call out some lawmakers or something before, maybe possibly, right? Is that Connor?
Well, so to answer your question about filmmaking, I really had a great time making Debut, and I do have a plethora of ideas for other films.
Sure.
The problem is time, man. Here's a secret. Filmmaking is a very lengthy process that requires a lot of time and attention.
Right.
And so, you know, being an adult now and being thrust into the real world, I have found that I don't have that much time anymore, but I do have ideas. I don't want to give anything away yet, just in case they don't materialize. But I do have some ideas for stuff. And as for the activism question, you know, I have a Twitter. I let my feelings be heard every now and again.
Right.
And, you know, I just feel like it's important in this day and age that people try to do good with whatever platform they may have. And I know that I don't have really any of a platform, but, you know, I just like to let my opinion be known about some things every now and again.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nothing wrong with that. You know, and so so I was just kind of seeing what, you know, if you know, the ultimate plan is to be the best wrestler ever, right? So I was just thinking, what else does Connor want to do, on the side possibly, or something else,
Yeah. At the moment, I currently work at a newspaper as a writer and photographer and multimedia guy, and I really love that. I love doing journalism. It's kind of been another passion for mine. I studied it in school. But ultimately,
Nice.
if I could make a career in wrestling, whether that be on the production side or in the ring or a combination of both, that would be great. I have another cheap plug for you. I have a design and video page on Facebook called Wild Child Designs. I design gear and I design posters and logos and graphics, and I do highlight videos. I did the highlight video recap for me and Bucky's feud that aired on the Zawa Live Facebook page earlier this week.
Yep.
And so, yeah, if I, just doing those things I would be completely content with my life.
Very cool. Let's talk about that too, man. Primo's got some stuff here for you outside of the ring.
Yes, sir.
Some questions to see where you lie versus some of the other guests that we've had on here.
Oh yeah.
All right. Before we get there, real quick, your let's talk about your pose, like your still pose you got. So how'd you come up with the snarl? That you do.
So it's actually right? There's kind of a funny story to that. When I started lifting weights when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, I was in junior high, and I would go with a bunch of high school football players. They had one of their dads owned like this rental property that he just turned into a gym. And so I'd go lift with them, and they would always make fun of me when I would lift heavy weights because I would get this great big snarl on my face. It would just be the ugliest face. And having grown up kind of like doing acting and stuff, I realized, I have decent facial expressions. And so just that angry snarl comes very natural to me. I have a very elastic face. So I can do a lot of really weird facial expressions.
Right.
And so the snarl just kind of became like the default thing. That or sticking my tongue out are kind of the two most comfortable things for me. And then
I can't wait.
You can guess where the thumb point came from.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait for the Connor Elastic Man Hopkins gimmick. That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome.
All right. So first thing you do, first drink you have when you wake up. Do you have coffee, energy drink, pre-workout? What do you do?
So usually when I wake up in the morning, if I need a big glass of water. That's my go-to. I need a big glass of water. I get real dry otherwise, so gotta hydrate. But then immediately after that, I'm going for the coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Big coffee guy in the morning. And it really doesn't matter how I get it, but I just have to have it. So yeah, water, then coffee.
Right there with you. So your travels to Minnesota and everywhere else that you've been, you had to have stopped at a few of these. So out of IHOP, Waffle House, and Denny's, what would be your pick?
Okay, so I can cross off IHOP from that list. I don't like IHOP, personal grudge of mine. And the thing is, I've only ever been to one Waffle House, and I loved it. And I would love to go again. But the problem is traveling in, the upper Midwest. There's no Waffle Houses around here.
Yeah, we got to get you booked closer to the East Coast, man.
I agree, man. I love Waffle House. I don't care how scary it is in there. I love Waffle House.
Let's say they're always in every sketchy neighborhood.
It's part of the experience, man. It's part of the experience.
Dude.
If the food sucked, nobody would go, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I have to default to Denny's just because it's what I know and what I love. And so, yeah, but if I can get it, I'm going to Waffle House.
I feel you. No, I understand the IHOP thing. I boycotted them for like 2 years. For the pod here, Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
Okay, so in listening to people answer this before, I have to go with Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. I know.
Another one for the good guys, the smart guys.
I love me some Bruce Lee. And Chuck Norris is great too. Nothing against him. Yeah. But I think Bruce Lee just does it better.
That's awesome. If someone were to write a biography about Connor Hopkins, what would the title be?
So there was this show called Clone High that I was introduced to. It was an animated series on MTV. And there's a book title that comes from that. I would call it A Rope of Sand.
Ah, nice.
It means absolutely nothing, but it makes me laugh every single time.
It's something that'll make you think.
You just had me laugh.
Exactly.
I was just thinking about grabbing a rope and then just falling in the sand.
A rope of sand, baby. The Connor Hopkins story.
That's awesome.
That's the most original answer you have to say.
And I stole it from a TV show.
So we had we talked about your match with Hartenbauer. We've had him on several times, but the point I'm making is he had a weird food combination, which was, what was it, dirty ranch and eggs?
Yeah,
ranch and eggs.
So do you have any weird
that
food
was because
combinations?
Billy Gunn. That was because Billy Gunn made him eat it.
Yeah, that was the Bill Gunn method.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything that can top ranch on eggs. I've gotten some flack before for pork chops and applesauce.
That's a thing.
Yeah, but that's a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of like another weird food thing.
Like Gary J said, he puts ranch on spaghetti. I still want to try that.
That is weird.
I still want to try that though.
And I like ranch, but I don't know about spaghetti.
No, not on spaghetti. No. No, it's weird because you don't think anything is weird that you do yourself, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I think the weirdest thing is maybe pork chop and applesauce, maybe.
Okay.
Because I don't know, listen, compared to those guys, I'm completely normal. Okay.
Right.
They're the weirdos.
I mean, I
bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nerds. Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
All right, I have to go with pancakes on this one.
Ooh, AJ's
gonna he's gonna love that.
Yeah,
we're all waffle peeps here.
Breakfast food is my favorite food, and pancakes take the pun intended cake every time.
Right? Yeah.
Besides your current entrance song, if you could choose any song from any time, what would you choose?
Tell people what you come out to, Connor, in case they don't know.
Yes. So I am kind of notorious for changing my music all the time. Just based on what song I'm digging at the moment.
Right.
For the longest time at Zawa, I used "Thank God I'm Not You" by Himalayas.
Nice.
Currently, I've been using at Zawa "House of the Rising Sun" by The Animals. And then
it's got
elsewhere,
a great intro.
Oh yeah. Elsewhere, I've been using "Blank Generation," the cover version by the Raconteurs, which is another fantastic song. Big fan of. But if I could pick any song from any band to come out to, what I would absolutely adore would be someone covering, maybe like the Raconteurs, because I really dig them. Some more of a garage band or garage rock style of "Waiting for the Sun" by The Doors.
Oh, nice.
The Doors are my favorite band of all time. And so I love that song, "Waiting for the Sun." But the original Doors version is a little too mellow to come out to for wrestling. I need something that'll get me fired up.
Right.
So I just figured it out, Connor. You're a Jim Morrison guy, aren't you?
I sure am.
I just fucking saw it, dude. Like, I just fucking saw it. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Dang, you could yes.
And he's a huge inspiration of me, of mine. Literally, I'll show you right here, hung up in front of my desk.
Yep.
I have his mugshot hung up in front of my desk.
Nice.
I had that poster at one point in one of my apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Where he got caught pissing in public or something like that, wasn't it?
Lewd and lascivious behavior.
There you go.
Memorized because it's my favorite crime.
Dade County.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miami-Dade County. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. What history, man. That's great, man.
So we were all small scaredy cat kids at one point. What horror movie was the one that got you when you were a kid?
Ooh. So my friends and I in high school, and younger than that too, would always our thing was we would just get together and binge watch horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that scared me the most growing up was this Canadian produced found footage, like paranormal type movie called Grave Encounters.
Oh, okay.
It is so good. And it does the found footage thing so well. They're in an abandoned insane asylum and things just go crazy from there. Yeah, Grave Encounters,
Like
cannot recommend it enough.
Paranormal Activity and everybody thought it was real.
Yes.
Type deal. Yeah.
And they kayfabe it too. They try to pass it off as like we were gonna make this reality ghost hunting show and then shit went bad. It's so good.
That is crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. Good answer. So everybody is a certain way when I'd say you are the weirdest, especially me, when you're alone in your car. So who is Connor Hopkins when he's alone in his car?
Connor Hopkins is an absolute rock star. I travel alone a lot of the times to shows just because of where I'm located at.
Right.
And I use that time to really just put on concerts. I'm constantly afraid that like someone has bugged my car and is just recording me because I will sing for 4 hours straight on a drive. I am absolutely the front man of my favorite band at any given moment. I love singing in the car.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because I also will sing at the top of my lungs when I'm in there by myself. And whenever I have my GPS facing me, I'm like, is there someone behind that camera watching me?
Oh, all the time. I am wondering that.
Great. Man, that's great. Well, I appreciate you answering all my outside the ring questions. I'm going to send you back to Dirty. Thanks again.
Absolutely, man.
Absolute rock star, man. I fucking love that shit, man. It's so funny. And the funny thing about it is, I'll say it, I don't care. It's like I'll sing my ass off in the car and not care if anybody sees me, right? But if I pick my nose or something and I say it, like I'll look around and be like, anybody see me?
Oh yeah.
You know, like, but like I'll sing like Taylor Swift or something, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I don't care. All right. Connor, let's get to the meat, man. Let's talk about it. This Saturday, April 23rd, Zawa Live 5-year anniversary show presents Us and Them. I think this is the last Pink Floyd reference card for now. So, but hey, man, you said this is the biggest match thus far in your career. You and Bucky Collins, you guys have history. You know, if anybody listens to the podcast, everybody knows Bucky Collins. And, you know, you guys are having, you know, the first cage match in close to 50 years is what I've heard in the Sauk Valley. So there's, you know, not just, you know, this is, you know, where the rivalry comes to a head. This is the big blow off. We're going to find out which one of you guys, you know, is going to come out on top. Not only that, you guys are in a cage with all these implications. Man, it really doesn't get much bigger than this. Like I said, we're close to a sellout, so there's going to be a shit ton of people there.
Making history.
Hey, just run us through the brain of Connor Hopkins right now, a couple days away. By the time people listen to this, we'll be, you know, 1 or 2 days away before the big show. The rivalry must end this Saturday, Connor. Tell us, man. Let's talk about it.
This has been something that I have been thinking about since September of 2021. Since Bucky put me out, since he attacked me after losing the rematch to Hartenbauer, this has been on my mind. I didn't know that it would end in a steel cage, but I knew that it had to end in a big way. We have been on a crash course. I first wrestled Bucky probably in 2018. And we have faced each other a handful of times since then. But since we paired together and since we split, I knew that it had to end in a big way. And so my mindset right now is just inflicting as much damage as I can on Bucky Collins. I came back wearing white jeans with one thing in mind. I am going to stain them with Bucky's blood. That is the end goal.
That's awesome.
We're going to take this to the extreme. I mean, it's the first cage match for a reason. He has been running from me and hiding from me, putting bounties on my head, and it ends this Saturday.
Yeah, Connor, correct me if I'm wrong. The last time you guys touched was in Prophetstown, I believe, at the rec center there. You guys just, you know, brawled all over that place. The locker room emptied out. They were trying to pull you guys apart. You guys went smashed through the fucking entrance ramp, like, you know what I mean, and just obliterated that. You know, I mean, y'all would probably still be fighting like Family Guy and the Chicken, probably, like, you know what I mean, like constantly. If you hadn't get torn apart. You know, Zeke said, you know, he had enough. That's it. He announced you guys are going to be in a steel cage match. And then, holy shit, it was starting counting down the days after that, man. And here we are, just a couple of days away. This could solidify another big match for you in Zawa, Connor. You know, you've been a part of a lot of big matches, and here we are, 5 years on the anniversary in Dixon. And here you are once again, man, you know, in another huge match with Bucky. And I mean, for you personally, that's got to feel pretty good, man. I know you're probably going to have a lot of family and friends here. And, you know, just on top of that, man, are you feeling some pressure? You know, talk to me about that.
Absolutely, I'm feeling some pressure. With the amount of people that are going to be there, I have no doubt in my mind that we'll sell out. And I'm super excited about that. The crowd is going to be electric. I have even more pressure on me because the fans have been so gracious and have just embraced me so much since coming back. I went from being the most hated man in Zawa Live to one of the most revered. And it's because Bucky is that despicable. And I feel like I owe it to them to put on a show. And at this point in my career, I know that it has to be 100%. It has to be balls to the wall against Bucky. Because the people deserve it.
Yeah, I agree, man. And, you know, you guys have, you know, this rivalry's been going on for years, like you talked about, you know, and Dixon Saturday night's going to be an epicenter. You know, everywhere, like Prophetstown is going to be there in Dixon. You know, Polo's going to be there. Sterling's going to be there. So, you know, you're going to have a lot of people coming together for this match. You know, this is, you know, there's a lot of matches on this card. A lot of people are talking about, but, you know, I mean, it's hard to not talk about a cage match as the number one. And you said this is your first cage match, correct, Connor?
Yeah, that is correct.
There's extra pressure too, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's all mounting up a bit. I'm trying to keep my head as cool as I can.
Yeah, and you got guys like me, like laying it all out for you, like you should be, you know, here it is, you know. So yeah, man. But you know, it's going to be big. You know, the rivalry's got to come to an end. You guys, you know, I'm excited to see this one on Saturday night. But you know, looking at the rest of this card here, Connor, before we get out of here, man, what other match are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to seeing other than this one? You know, I don't know if you'll have any, you know, your nerves are going to be shot all to hell that day. I don't know if you're going to be able to watch any wrestling, but.
I am definitely looking forward to the Zawa Live title match. I'm always heavily invested with what Hartenbauer is doing because I have to be, because he's the one who beat me. You know, he's the man. And he's going to have a tall task ahead of him in Cody James. I have seen Cody on several shows. He picked up and slammed the Moondog repeatedly, which, if you know anything about the Moondog, he is glued to the earth. So that's a tall task in itself. Right. So it's going to be two behemoths just absolutely going at it. I'm also interested, you know, in what my TDC compatriots are up to.
Oh yeah.
I got to wrestle Matt Cage. Now Christian Rose is rehashing that old rivalry against Matt Cage. They have one of the most storied careers in independent wrestling today, especially in the Midwest. I think they have legitimately wrestled each other over 100 times. And so that match, they'll absolutely tear it up. Damian Deschain is wrestling Bailey Bright in a Falls Count Anywhere match. I am excited to see Damian turn it on and show some real aggression there. Bailey's an incredibly hard hitter. I've wrestled Bailey a ton. And I can't wait to see those two really bring it, because I think that Bailey's aggression will bring out a new side of Damian that I'm really excited to see. I want to see him tear it up as well. And then the Academy, Berna and Pregel, taking on the current Zawa Live Tag Champions, Country Air. I've wrestled Country Air several times. Those guys are phenomenal. They are so good. I've also wrestled the Academy before. Priegel and Berna are a deadly combination, so I think there will be some fireworks there. There's been a little bit of a dispute recently amongst the Academy. Priegel seems to be fed up with Berna's shit a little bit, which I understand. But I also, I hopefully they can stay together as a unit. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't want to mess with Priegel.
Right? Yeah, he's a big dude, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's just put this in perspective, man. Saturday night is going to be a big night for everybody on the card. Everybody that's coming to this show is going to get one hell of a show. It's the 5-year anniversary, and those anniversary shows just have a little something extra always on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm super looking forward to Saturday night. Connor, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to finally get to talk to you, my brother. And, we'll see you Saturday, of course. And looking forward to, your match with Bucky. And, man, if I don't know what to really say, it's a cage match. So I'm going to just say be safe. And we do wish you all the best of luck, man. But really, dude, thanks for coming on today. And if there's anything else you want to plug, man, please do so.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, guys. This was a blast. A little bummed I didn't get to play cage match because I wanted to prove that I was the best at it.
Yeah.
But
that means we have to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to come back and prove myself. And as for your point about be safe in the cage, no promises.
Yeah.
But as for any cheap plugs where you can follow me, you can find me on Twitter at Hopper2017. I probably should change that since I made that handle when I was in high school. But at Hopper2017 on Twitter, you can find me on Facebook at CH Wildchild, or by looking up Connor Hopkins -professional wrestler. And then you can find my film on the Sit Down Marks Twitter account. They tweeted it out, which was awfully kind of you guys.
Absolutely,
and
man.
you can find me, wherever I'm at on any given weekend. It can be anywhere in the Midwest, hopefully.
That's right, man. Book this man if you got a promotion. Go check out his stuff. But really looking forward to this Saturday, man. If you don't watch this match live, you're gonna end up catching the replay, because I got a feeling it's gonna be that good. So looking forward to the big show this Saturday night. We'll see everybody at Dixon, Illinois on April 23rd, man. Let's get out there and support great professional wrestling. Zawa Live 5-year anniversary. Us and them. We'll see you Saturday night. Man, could you imagine, let's just talk about this for a second. Can you imagine, we're sitting here today and it's 3 days away from being in a cage match? How would you feel right now?
Your first cage match and the first cage match in the Midwest in 50 years.
Yes.
It's no pressure.
Yeah, blow off from, somebody has to win this rivalry, a 2-year rivalry that, I mean, this kid's got a lot going for him, but I mean, I tell you what, man, me and Primo, like I said, we talked to him, I tell you what, I seen it, man. He's ready. He's ready to take it on, man. He's ready. He wants to put on a show, but mainly he wants to come out with that win. One of the nicest guys that we've talked to, man. He was super cool, man.
Loved having him on. I can't wait to have him back on. We will definitely get him on back in the future.
Definitely will. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So you heard us talk about it, but I'm going to say it one more time. Come meet me and AJ this Saturday in Dixon, Illinois for that 5-year Zawa Live anniversary show. It is very close to selling out. So if you haven't got tickets, please get them right now. It's going to be the biggest show in history. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a party, man. I'm ready, AJ. You ready to go to Dixon, brother?
Yes.
Always throwing them curveballs. I love it. All right. So, yeah.
No, I am super excited. I've been looking forward to the show for pretty much since their last show ended. And I found out that they were doing the 5-year anniversary. I've been so hyped for the show. I can't wait.
Yeah, man, it's going to be so good. I'm excited too, man. So come check us out over there in Dixon this Saturday. All right, boys, it's time to move on here. Let's finish up and do our final draft, adding to our promotions. You know, like I said, we started this thing up, I think, about 6-7 months ago, roughly. And here we are in the final draft. So just kind of quickly give you guys what we've been doing. We've been drafting promotions. We've been drafting singles, tag teams, women's tag teams, all that kind of stuff. We're building these virtual promotions. Now, in just a few months, we're going to be having a kind of a virtual Marks promotions tournament. And basically, we're going to be delivering our best singles, tags, women's, all that kind of stuff into a tournament, and we're going to be putting our guys against each other. So just kind of let you know where we are, Primo, and that pretty good. Say it, Primo.
That is the pretty good wrestling promotion.
There you go. So he's got
pretty good.
MJF, Darby Allin, Adam Cole, Miro, Brock Lesnar, Johnny Gargano, and Jeff Hardy. His tag teams are the Young Bucks, Good Brothers, the Briscoes, MSK, and 2.0. His women picks are Asuka, Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, AJ Lee, Rhea Ripley. His GM is the Sheriff Steve Austin. His manager valet is Paul Heyman, and his faction is Evolution. And he just added Cardona, Trey Miguel, and John Moxley the last draft. All right, so AJ's Glue Factory Wrestling, he's got Bryan Danielson, Finn Balor, CM Punk, Malachi Black, AJ Styles, Cesaro, and Daniel Makabe. His tag teams are FTR, Lucha Brothers, New Day, Jurassic Express, and the Varsity Blonde. Yes! His women's roster is Britt Baker, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Chris Statlander, and Alexa Bliss. His manager is the Sensational Sherry. His GM is Lanny Poffo. His faction is The Shield, and he recently just added Will Ospreay, Dan Lambert, and Carmelo Hayes to the roster. Now, finally, my heels on top, the hot wrestling promotion. We got Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Jay Lethal, Sasha Banks, Edge, Jungle Jack Perry. My tag teams are the Usos, RK Bro, Red Dragon, Finn Juice, and the Street Profits. My women's roster is Charlotte, Bianca, Camille, Ronda Rousey, and Jade Cargill. My manager is Miss Elizabeth. My GM is Teddy Long, and my faction is the Four Horsemen. And I just recently added Okada, Hangman Adam Page, and Alex Hammerstone. All right, so today we're adding our final picks. We're giving 2 picks today. Anybody's on the board except for Roman Reigns. So, and we're also putting in today, you can also pick a classic wrestler, alive or dead, to add to your promotion. So I think the way it goes, I believe AJ is first this time, me, Primo, and then we'll snake it back up. So Primo basically make 2 picks back to back, and then we'll be done with this thing. So AJ, make your first pick, man. It can be any pick. It can be a tag team, a woman, a valet, a classic wrestler. Who's your first pick for this week's Glue Factory?
Glue Factory Wrestling, for their first pick, chooses Primo. Read the text. Who's my first pick? My first pick is
Nakamura.
Thank you. Like you did that right away and didn't miss it at all. My first pick is King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. My boy, I love him so much. Get in the Glue Factory.
Can't go wrong with that. With my first pick, I'm going to shore up my singles roster. I'm going with a guy from the NWA. I'm going with Aaron Stevens.
Aaron
add
Stevens
him to my roster.
Interesting.
Yeah. Love his wrestling intellect. He's great on the mic. So that leaves Primo to make 2 picks to shore up your roster here to finish up the draft.
Okay.
Do.
So I could pick anyone.
Except for
anyone
Roman
not
Reigns.
Roman.
Okay. The pretty good wrestling promotion selects in the final draft Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Very nice. Very nice. No chance.
I like it.
No chance in hell.
That's very good.
All right, so that's your first pick, Primo.
Yep. That didn't count as my legend. That was more of my classic.
Sure.
Because my classic is none other than the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, very
Sure.
nice. Very
Sure.
nice. Very nice. All right, so that leaves it up to me now with my last pick, and I'm gonna go with the classic pick, man. I'm going with the man himself. He just passed away, man, so I'm still thinking about him. He's my second favorite wrestler of all time, so I'm going with Razor as my classic pick. So I'm gonna stick with Razor Ramon.
Is he Razor or is he Scott?
Hey, he's Razor. I'm going with
Yeah.
Razor because that's why I fell in love with was Razor. AJ, your final pick, sir.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to take a classic pick, it's going to be Surfer Sting.
There you go.
Obviously,
There we go.
like I thought for sure that you guys, one of you would
We're
have
gonna go. So we're
taken
gonna
him.
go pre-96 Sting.
Yes, pre-96, and we're going to go Surfer Sting, not Crow Sting, even though I love Crow Sting. Surfer Sting.
All right, so that's going to round out and our final draft. You won't have to listen to us do this anymore. You'll just hear about how we're going to do the whole tournament coming down sometime in June. So that's going to complete our virtual promotions. I had a blast drafting.
Yeah.
That was fun, man.
Let me tell you,
it was cool to go back and look at these rosters.
Pretty good wrestling promotion is pretty damn good.
I mean, yeah.
They're
All
all
three of
stacked.
them should be,
They're all
though.
stacked.
They're
Yeah,
all
three.
stacked.
You know,
They should
like,
be.
let's think of some of them that didn't get picked. Samoa Joe.
Sure.
Kenny Omega. Did he
Moose.
get picked?
Yep. Kenny Omega, we put him because he was on disabled list. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
why,
true.
Moose did not get
Moose.
picked.
Get healthy.
Yeah. Did Drew McIntyre get picked?
Did not get picked.
No,
Nope.
Drew
Nope.
McIntyre. No.
Oh man, no Happy Corbin.
No Madcap Moss.
No, no Butch.
No Butch.
No Butch.
Oh wow.
No Doink.
No Doink. Oh,
No
that's
Doink.
tragic.
Classic.
Gobbledygooker.
No gobbledygooker.
No.
All right,
no
good stuff
Lex
there,
Luger?
boys. We'll circle back to that in June and work on this tournament. It's going to be fun. Let's get to these MMA picks here, boys. So we had 2 picks last week. You guys actually picked 2 separate picks. So we're going to start with AJ in the main event. You were 43 and 42. Oh, he left.
Yep.
He'll be back. All right, Primo, let's start with you then.
Yep.
Primo, we'll start with you. So your pick of the week, you were 10 and 6 coming into this show last week. So, all right. So, what was the guy's name again? I have a hard time picking it. It was
Omar
Godziev. Alzor Godziev. All right. Let's see if you help the gamblers out this week or not. Yep. It was a crazy ending, man. Like he had his hand on the ground and he got kneed, right? So they went to
Right.
the scorecards and that's how he lost.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
so that is no fun there. So
Yeah, he went
so
to the decision,
drop you,
yeah.
that'll drop you to 10 and 7, and we'll come back to your pick here. So let's get back to AJ.
Yeah.
AJ, you are 43 and 42 heading into this week.
Ooh.
You picked Muhammad to win the main event in the welterweight bout. Let's see if you were right. Hey!
Yes. 2 above 500, motherfuckers. 44 and 40. Oh.
44 and 42.
Yes.
Is where you're sitting. So let's get to your pick here, AJ. This week's pick, you're going to pick a women's match.
Ooh.
So it's the
It's a tough one,
UFC
too.
Apex Las Vegas, Nevada, the women's strawweight bout.
Yeah.
Strawweight?
Strawweight.
Was that like 70 pounds?
Like what scarecrows are made of, yes.
Or like what you drink soda out of.
I couldn't find any nicknames. Maybe Primo can see. But all right, so main event, the number 10 ranked Amanda Lemos is 11-1-1. She's from Brazil. She's 5'4", and she's got a 65-inch reach. She is fighting the number 1 ranked Jessica Andrade, 22-9. She's from Brazil as well, 5'1", and she's got a 62-inch reach. You want to go with the number 10 ranked or the number 1 ranked?
I'm going to go with the shorter girl with the smaller reach.
Gotcha.
Because when she gets inside, she'll be like... Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, she's a stud. She's
punching the fun bags.
Yep,
yes.
right in the old meat baskets.
They will. Yeah, so, I mean, that's going to be a good fight there, man. So, Amanda's kind of come on here lately, but, Andrade's still a bad, bad girl in that division. So, all right, Primo, let's see if we can get you back on track, man. We got Clay Guida's fighting on this card. Macy Barber's fighting on this card. What are you thinking here, man?
So actually, you mentioned Clay Guida, the veteran there at the beginning there. So the co-main is actually where I'm going to go with here. Him and El Nino, Claudio Puelles, they are going up against each other. And they're actually, I got to say, the odds are pretty even.
Odds are even.
But Clay Guida being the veteran.
Terrible.
El Nino's young, and he's got a better reach. A little taller. Clay Guida's 40. So sure. I'm going to go with El Nino, Claudio Puelles.
The baby.
All right. I like it. We'll see if we can, Primo can help out the gamers this week. So should be a good card there going down. Some pretty good undercards. So definitely going to be a good one. All right, AJ, it's time to close the show, brother.
Oh, brother. Hulk Hogan. Well, please listen to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Spotify, Apple, and others.
Apple.
Also, listen to us right here every Wednesday live on YouTube around 6:30, generally. That's Central Standard Time. And then we have merch. It's at tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. And we have t-shirts, baby clothes, sweatshirts, not hats yet, but hats might be in the works a little bit.
In the works.
Coffee mugs, stickers, magnets, all the fun stuff. Go buy that. That link again is tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. And thank you so much for all that you do, you lovely bastards.
Yeah, man, pretty wild. So next week's the final pod of the month already. Holy shit. Primo, give us the preview, brother.
Let's get the preview of next week.
So the final the final pod of the month already. We would give you our Rebellion reactions and cover the week as usual. Next week is a big one because a friend of the pod and any road tripper, Dylan, joins the pod. Also, he's got a blog out there. Go check that out as well. He joins the pod for the first time to review Goldberg versus Hogan on Nitro in '98. Talk wrestling with us, of course, and tell us all about a really cool blog he writes each week. The big red. Okay.
I can't.
It's the face. It's the face that you make because you go like it's coming because you go like you're talking normally, and then you go.
Oh, we're also going to cover DB and AJ's big weekend at Zawa Live. Going to be a fun one. Join us, won't you? We'll see you there, Marks. Thanks you all for checking us out each week. We appreciate it. We love you, and see you next week.
All right, you guys got any last notes, man? Saturday, man, we're going to be in Dixon, Illinois for that big show, the Zawa Live 5-year anniversary. Come see us. Come get some free merch, man. If you listen to the pod, come tell us. Talk to us about it, man. I'm excited for it. AJ, I can't wait to go, man. We always have a blast when we go.
Every time.
It's going to be great, man. I'm ready. Are you?
Yep, absolutely. I've been Doing nothing to prepare. I mean, what do you do to prepare? I just want to go. Like I want it to be Saturday now. It's good. Oh, another thing, it's going to be beautiful outside, so it's going to be a nice drive up there. Like I can't wait. Everything about it is going to be great.
You should paint your face.
I will paint my face.
Definitely should paint your face.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm going to paint glasses on.
I'll give you the update.
Like I'll put my contacts in, but then I'll paint the glasses on my face.
Or just keep the glasses and put the tape on them like the Dudley Boys.
Or what was that silly fuck's name that was with the Bushwhackers? No, Jameson. There we go.
Yeah.
Remember Jameson?
Mm-hmm.
Dirty, you remember Jameson?
It's like it's like the music when the Grim Reaper is coming, right? Like
it is. Yes.
Like,
exactly what it is.
It's creepy, man. It's good stuff.
It's great. It's great.
All right, boys. Well, looking forward to this weekend show, man. Thank you, guys. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Good to see you, boys, as always. Appreciate your time. And that's going to do it, AJ. Take us home, Daddy.
Bang, bang.
I got too high before this pod. Go.
Do it again. Do it again.
Grab them.